Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Preparation Ape, your number one place for Nintendo Switch news, and that's about it. I'm DKP.
Major Tom.
And of course, we're coming to you live every single Thursday at 8:48 p.m. here at twitch.tv/ChainsawApe. How you doing, Major Tom?
Not too bad. How about you?
Well, I don't like being lied to, first off, but
I'm just gonna say not too bad. I don't want to
I know. I'm just
berate it.
kidding. I'm doing well.
Good.
Yeah.
How's Dishonored going so far?
Good.
You finished it yet? At least your first playthrough?
No, not yet. I'm on like one particular level where it's not quite. It's almost like the same mechanic.
Yeah.
It's as Titanfall 2, but when you're trying to do a no-kill playthrough, it's more aggravating than fun.
Yeah.
Shockingly, but yeah. Apart
Hello,
from
kid.
that, how are you?
Is the man I'm going to be racing here now?
Yes, I suppose so. How are you?
Uh-oh, the internet isn't working. Stream won't load.
Probably, hopefully, I'd see refresh.
Hey, Canada, you see a stream behind you? You see our beautiful faces?
I can only hope so. So, yes. So what do we got on the Resodox tonight?
Let's go to the next slide and we'll talk
All right.
about it.
Suppose we ought to.
We're going to be talking about some Nintendo Switch pricing rumors. Super Mario Run has a launch date and price, at least for Apple devices. And we're going to be doing an update to my 52-week challenge, because I'm getting close and almost out of time, so I'm going to give an update. We're also going to be Cheap Ass Gamer. You ever heard of this website? cheapassgamer.com.
Have not, no.
It's a website that just like finds deals and stuff. It's a cool place. So they have a forum post about Black Friday deals, and they basically take all the Black Friday deals and they aggregate them into one Google Doc that people all just go and update it.
Right.
So we're going to go over that a little bit, and then I'm going to post it in the Facebook group. And then we're going to do our personal top 5 Nintendo handheld games. This was a thread that was on NeoGAF, and I thought it was super interesting. Thought it'd be a good excuse to talk about handheld games, because we don't really talk about them. So.
No, we don't.
All right, later, Zelda Rocks.
And
then, of course, we're going to end the stream as we always do. Hashtag Ask Apes Anything. So,
as usual, yes.
Our weekly You Ask Questions, We Answer is segment. We get those questions, from facebook.com/groups/the Chainsaw Ape group. So make sure you guys come join us so you can have your questions asked. What's up, Paints?
Yes.
You ready to kick things off?
You better believe it, baby.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So first we got Switch pricing rumors.
So I have 2 different pages here that I want to read. One from a couple of days ago and then one from a couple of months ago, or about a month ago.
All right.
So the first one comes from Tech Radar. Emma Boyle. The title of the article is New Nintendo Switch Leak Backs Up the Super Tempting Price Rumors. Nintendo might have understated, under no uncertain terms that it wouldn't reveal the Nintendo Switch price until 2017. But that doesn't stop leaks springing up from various retailers this week. The latest information is coming from a listing on the Canadian Toys R Us site, which BGR reports that the Nintendo Switch launch price is $329.99 Canadian dollars, which would convert to about $250 in the US. It's about £200 in the UK and about $330 Australian dollars. So the listing has been removed and Nintendo hasn't commented on its accuracy, but it does fall in line with other reports that have emerged this week. Sorry, you got something? Did you want to? Okay. Rumor has it. It was recently reported that 2 reliable sources from UK retailer Game had revealed that the Switch would launch in the UK for £199, and that pricing across other regions would be close to a direct price conversion. The listing leaks from Toys R Us certainly back up the information in the report, as with rough direct conversion. The listing doesn't, however, shed any light on the plausibility of other rumors that a premium model bundled with a game would be released for £249 or $300, or that the console controllers would be available to purchase separately for £39.99, which is about $60. Though it seems like a price point that's bordering on too good to be true, the fact that both these leaks substantiate one another's claims is a good sign. Regardless, it's unlikely that we'll hear anything from Nintendo's confirmation or denial until 2017, when it's ready to officially reveal the the launch price for itself. So, I'm of a couple of minds on this, and I think we probably
do we have
talked
another
about
article to read
this.
before we kind of start giving our opinions?
Yeah, we can do that. This is from PvPlive.net.
Yes.
Chris Bond posted this. Nintendo Switch launch date, price, and bundles leaked. So, quote, so far Nintendo has only revealed that the new Switch console will be launching sometime in March, but according to Laura Kate Dale's Twitter, the system's debut may be March 17th. Dale has been known to offer tidbits of industry-related info in the past, and in previous instances has been fairly accurate. You may recall that she's the same individual who correctly guessed when Switch trailer would debut based upon her own private sources. Weeks ago, it was speculated that the Nintendo Switch would be region-free,
Right.
a major point which Dale predicts might still be kept intact for the system's launch, which would also line up as to the price. If it's the same price everywhere, region-free.
Well, that's, if I was going to remark anything in the last article, it's God, does Australia get fucked,
Right?
and often.
Yeah. But
It's
even
the same
that
everywhere
Australian
else.
price, even that
No,
Australian
that's still
price is
it's
about
still
what it
good.
converts to.
It's still a little bit more expensive, but yeah, because
They're-
they're to my understanding, AUD is pretty close to USD.
They're fairly
pounds
close,
is like 1.5. It's worth 1.5 times what ours is.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, if they're if they're getting fucked still pretty badly. But
Yeah.
even then, I still think at that price, it's not. I wouldn't say a bargain, but yeah.
I mean, I think it's a bargain for what you're getting.
But no, it is kind of following the trends right now of all the newer consoles. Well, hold on, correct me if I'm wrong here. PS4 definitely is region free.
It is.
Is Xbox?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't think it is, because remember how you had to, or maybe it is. Remember how to play Dark Souls early, you had to like log in.
Well, no, that was on PS4, and
I
that
thought
was
Xbox that did that.
no. That was a thing of like it was just being sold on their store, so you had to just make a new account for their store.
Gotcha.
For me to get that, had nothing to do with like the disc not being able to be read,
Yeah.
right?
Another vital tidbit that is bound to create a lot of buzz suggests that Nintendo is working on multiple bundles. A separate source claims that the company has plans to release
Bunduru.
a Rhythm Heaven game with Nintendo characters. Further, I don't know what the point of that is, but further, the Switch bundles will start at $260 for a basic bundle, $300 for a Mario bundle, and $340 for a Zelda bundle that includes the Pro controller. So you get the standard Switch controllers and that little docker thing, and then you'd also get a Pro controller.
Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to do a major throat clear. I just didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
By the way, we not at one point played into the title of this episode, or how many times we've said the word bundle. I feel like we dropped the ball on that one.
Maybe.
You know? Because this is, of course, Apeday Bunduru.
Apeday Bunduru.
So if you can, anytime you say bundle.
Say Bunduru.
Bunduru. Yeah.
So, to me, that all these rumors are lining up. This is from, let me see.
I believe all this.
I do too. Especially considering this is from 14 days ago. Yeah, the last one was from 2 days ago. So it seems plausible that a $250 like standard model, a $300 Mario Bunduru, and a $340 Zelda Bunduru seems very, very likely. So,
right. But the Zelda Bunduru comes with the Pro controller as well, which
correct.
Is pretty
not
solid.
a bad deal. An extra $90 for the game and a controller. Yeah. That's not a bad.
So is that all the info we have, though?
That is all the info we have.
Then let's give our opinions. I'm going to let you go first, because you specifically are kind of like...
I'm of two minds here.
Yeah, like, that's a great price, but... go on.
Let's do the positive first.
Well, there's plenty positive. That's a fucking good price.
At $250, that's a great deal. That's something that will sell, like, massive amounts at $250 launching.
Dude, how much did the 3DS cost when it came out?
$329.
Yeah. How much does it cost new?
No, maybe $250.
Well, even then, that's like as much as a Switch.
The Wii U was $320.
Right, but that's like as much as a fucking Switch, though.
Yeah. And that kind of leads me into my concern is $250 worth of technology. They have said, like officially, that they're selling these at a profit.
Which is
so if they're selling them at a profit,
Yeah.
And it has a touchscreen, and it has all this processing power in this handheld, and the majority of it is ran from the actual tablet. I'm concerned. I'm concerned with battery life. I'm concerned with how powerful is it going to be? I'm concerned with all the concerns that everyone has about the type of games we're going to get on it. Granted, Mario is going to look great, and Mario Kart and Splatoon and all that will look great, but like...
So what you're saying is you don't want the Nintendo equivalent of a Tiger handheld game.
Yes. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
At this price point, it's possible that it could take off like the OG Wii. Yeah. What's up, Pebbiff? Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, the Wii is a little bit of a different landscape because they were going after my grandmother.
They're going after her?
Yeah.
Like the Gestapo?
Yeah, exactly.
That's fucking horrible.
And this time they're not. They're kind of catering towards, youngins.
We're going to read the
people
book.
Between the ages of 18 and 30.
Fucking The Diary of Ethel Rogers. But her hiding in the attic from Reggie.
You want a Nintendo Switch?
You can bowl on it,
I've got a new and exciting way to play.
A new and exciting way to die.
Dang.
At the gates of their thing is this new and exciting way to work will set you free. Get it? Give me them ribs.
Don't you touch my ribs right now. I'll stab you. So yeah, battery and processing power and all of these things are now a way bigger concern at a $250 price.
Yeah.
Because, dude, a PlayStation 4 is not even $250 right now. Like, that's more expensive than that now.
Is it really?
Yeah, I think it's $3. Or maybe like the old one, Bunduru. The old ones are $250, okay. And then the Slim is $3, and then the Pro is $4. That might be what it is.
Sorry, I misunderstood you. I thought you meant like that some other selling cheaper than $250.
No.
That was going to be shocking to me, but
yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like the PlayStation 4 is more expensive than what this would be, and the PlayStation 4 is 3-year-old technology.
Well, this is probably 3-year-old technology.
That's what I'm saying. Probably more,
or the equivalent.
Probably more, and that's where the concern comes in. Which I've never needed Nintendo to be overly powerful or have all these amazing specs, but if they are going to sell as well as they need to, and they're going to be someone's preferred place to play a lot of games, then...
But you see, Tommy, you're fucking up there. With the Switch, it doesn't have to be a preferred place to play. Because there's no place. You can play anywhere. You can play on a roof and ruin everyone else's time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can play in the rain.
Kind of like that person who brings Cards Against Humanity to a party. And it's like, hey guys, forces everyone to play it.
Yeah.
You know? You could... There's no... Yeah, no, I don't mean to correct you, but... I think you're off base here.
Yeah, potentially. So, $250. I don't know. I'm cool with it, but that's not what I want. I want it to be $4.
I find it very hard to believe we're going to get the product that we want out of $250 with them selling it at a profit.
Yeah.
That's my concern.
Yep.
And I'm not even necessarily concerned about like the hardware that's in there. I'm more concerned about the actual like integrity, structural integrity, if you will, of the unit itself.
For sure.
Because the Wii U feels like I never noticed it until someone pointed it out, but it does feel like almost like a Tiger handheld. It's that thick, cheap plastic that's like thicker than it probably needs to be.
Yeah.
It's just weird feeling. In this, it looks like they're trying really hard to not look that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's going to be that way.
I mean, we'll see. It looks a lot nicer than I feel like it would. But anything else on this?
I think that is all.
We'll get the details on January 12th. I don't know what you're going to be doing on the day, but I haven't requested it off yet, but I plan to request that day off so we can do a live reaction, pre and post show and all that stuff for it. Listen, man. Yeah, the 250 I know won't be the console I imagined.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's my concern too. Still going to buy one.
Well, I mean, at $250, how can you not?
Yeah.
You want to play the new Zelda, don't you?
Of course. But I can play it on my Wii U.
Right, but
there's
do
also...
you want to play it on your Wii?
Unrelated from an article standpoint, there are rumors that Zelda won't make launch. That Mario will make launch, but Zelda won't.
You really think
What's
so?
up, Spotify?
We'll see, man.
Yep.
That would be...
That
would be a giant, like, what the fuck are you doing? But yeah. All right, we move on.
Super Mario Run. It's going to be the best-selling Mario game of all time. Count on it.
Well, fucking yeah, of course it is.
I'm just saying.
Kind of like how Pokemon Go is the best-selling Pokemon game of all time.
I mean, Pokemon Go is free, though.
Well,
so
this is free.
Wired.com.
Allegedly.
Kind of. Let me read this article and then you can decide. Nintendo has officially... This is from Wired.com. Let me get who wrote it so I can cite it correctly. Chris Kohler. He says, Nintendo has officially unveiled the release date and price for Super Mario Run, its first Mario game on iPhone. You'll be able to download it and play a few levels for free on December 15th. But that's just for a tiny taste. If you want to play the entire game, it'll cost $10 through in-app purchases. However, Nintendo says this is the only in-app purchase you'll ever have to make, and it won't hit Mario players up for more cash later. So no microtransactions or anything.
Okay, so $10.
You get a demo of it basically for free, and then if you decide you want to pick it up, pay $10.
For what? That's decently expensive.
What?
Like, people have been laughing.
For a full-fledged Mario game?
This is not a full-fledged Mario. This is
Yes, it is.
You tap the screen and he jumps Mario game.
Yeah, but it's still going to have, like, multiple worlds and multiple levels, and there's going to be extra modes in it outside of just, like... It's not an infinite runner, even. Like, it's level-based.
Right, and things like, what is it, Temple Run? I thought are pretty similar to that.
Temple Run's an infinite runner.
It's not, well, I thought it was level-based.
It is, but it's still, like, you just run from left to right. This is, like, Mario is constantly running, but... You're going to, like, bounce off walls and do stuff like that. It's more similar to, like, Rayman Fiesta Run.
The fuck? Rayman Fiesta Run?
Yeah. What up, Texas Bill, Davis?
You know, people have been laughing for years at Square Enix, despite the fact people buy these games. Being like, oh, you want Final Fantasy IV? It'd be $16 on the App Store, right? It's insanely expensive.
$16 is not insanely expensive.
For a... comparatively,
and that's
to the rest.
This is where I start to have an issue. Is when people bitch about free to play games and like piece of shit little mobile games, but when there is an actual premium product made by Nintendo, $10 is too much. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no, I don't see where you're drawing the parallels there. Which is like
what parallels?
So for a mobile game, that is very expensive. That's all I'm saying.
But it's a premium product. It is a Nintendo-made game.
So it's like all the other. This is hold on. This is like when
the answer
when
is
fucking,
yes. They're all pieces of dirt.
When McDonald's or something comes out with their new premium salads, and it's like, well, what was it prior to now? All half-ass.
Yes.
Like. No, there was good shit on the App Store. Nintendo's not going to... Yes!
Can somebody make a little highlight of him saying there's good stuff on the App Store so I can throw it back in his face every time he talks about mobile gaming? Please continue.
Well, no, I hate it, but it doesn't mean there aren't some good things. Yeah. But it's like, yeah, no, fuck that. Oh, but
there's good stuff on the App Store.
All you're saying is, but this is Nintendo, so
yeah,
it's
that
all
matters.
Right. It fucking
so,
doesn't.
Let me ask you
this.
It
matters to you, which I can respect. Or I won't, but I can.
Why is it that, like, Nintendo games are more expensive used than any other game?
Why are they more expensive used?
Yeah.
Because
if you go to GameStop...
Because they don't ever drop their fucking price.
Why? But what, people still pay it?
Yeah. It doesn't mean that's
all your Nintendo games
practice
have a higher value... have a higher value than any of your Konami games or any of your Capcom games.
So what you're saying is...
have a high value to them.
So what you're saying is...
Nintendo make premium products. That's what they do.
Look, when you withhold supply on a product, that doesn't mean it's premium.
That's not the parallel I'm making at all.
Also, not to mention, that exact thing right there that you just said doesn't even apply to this situation, since you're not going to buy a boxed copy of Mario Run. You're not going to be able to resell it. So... Well, I mean,
the comparison
value.
I'm making.
No, it doesn't.
I'm not making a maintains value comparison. What I'm saying is that people believe that Nintendo games are worth more than average games.
Yeah, and they're idiots.
Okay, well then don't fucking buy this one.
No, I like them, but I don't think it's any better than fucking. Don't
buy it. Just don't buy it.
Oh, so it's all or nothing. It's either I think it's the most premium product.
No, you're just saying that it's too much money.
It's a step above.
What does too much money mean?
I'm saying for a mobile game that is expensive. Normally, they're like $2, $3.
Yeah.
90% of them.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So you don't think it's going to be worth $10?
Well, there's no way for me to tell. Probably not, but there's no way for me to tell.
I'll tell you if it's good or not.
Please do.
I'm definitely getting.
Yeah,
Super
I
Mario
know you're getting
Run will launch simultaneously in 151 different countries. While the game, in which Mario runs automatically and the player controls his jumps by tapping the screen, is exclusive to the iPhone this year, Nintendo says it will release it on Android 17.
Oh, and they're fucking cucking us here on Android.
Aww.
Man, fuck Nintendo.
Aww.
Okay. All right, hold on, let's get to the. I want to address one of the comments.
Okay.
Idify says, "I predict Super Mario Run is going to be the best-selling Mario game of all time." You heard it here first. No, that's incorrect. Heard it from Tommy.
Like 5
Probably mere minutes probably before you jumped in.
Yeah, for a premium product, I'd throw down. And the Square Enix games are just a tad expensive, I think, but still not too shabby.
See, what Paint's fucked up on is he forgot to put the quotes on premium.
Premium product. They don't drop in price because you can get a Mario game anywhere else. Zelda, Metroid. Read my comment because I made a solid and accurate prediction. LOL, damn. Yeah, just
Gotcha.
The best-selling Mario game of all time. I mean, it makes sense because there are a billion Apple devices out there in the world.
Hold on, no, I'll say this. I think it'll be the most downloaded.
Yeah.
Depending on who wants to pay $10 for it. It might not be the best selling. It'll be the most. It'll be that free demo will, without a doubt, be the most downloaded.
I mean, I think the best-selling Mario game of all time only has 40 million sold.
Only has
the original Super Mario Brothers. That's what I'm saying. If there are a billion iPhones out there and that Mario's there, and it comes out a week before every kid on Earth gets an iTunes gift card for Christmas or in their stocking, holy cannoli! That's a gift card game waiting to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Their ass. Fucking.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited to play something a little bit different. So.
You would be.
I am.
No, not different. It's new. And guess what else it is? Exciting. Isn't it?
I'm very excited.
All right, well.
Dude,
for one.
Shigeru Miyamoto worked on this game.
Oh, did he fucking sit there and crunch code and program it?
Yeah.
No, he didn't. They were already making this probably with
So the only people who make games are people who crunch code. They're the only ones who make games.
No, here's what happened. He fucking they're making a Metroid game, and he came by and was like, "Oh,
we should turn that into a Mario Infinite.
Can you
Mario.
do something completely different and make it Mario?" And they're like, "God damn it! Why don't we just lock the doors? But he can't come in and do this to us." That's probably what happened.
Yeah, that is probably. Anything else on this?
No, I think I'm good.
Cool. Let's move on. Holy crap. Major Tom's V2 and V2, the story. Okay, guys.
Hold on. I do love how we know where you got that picture from. It's all about that coolclips.com,
bro. You got to keep it in there.
Yeah, man.
You like how I put the Major Tom shades on him, too? You're like, oh,
I didn't notice that, but now that I see it, I hate it.
Okay, so I've told this story several times, but in case this is your first episode of Preparation 8, last year you and I were working on our top 10 games of 2015 list, and it was fucking impossible. It was so hard to find 10 games that I played all the way through from beginning to end. Because for me, that's what qualifies for me to say that I can. Sure, I played an hour and a half of Doom. That doesn't mean I'm qualified to say it's a game of the year, at least from my own personal perspective. So, it was really hard, and we ended up adding games like Resident Evil Remake on there, and just stuff that's like this. And I had Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, which, don't get me wrong, I still play that game. But to me, it's not it's not the type of game that I want to see on a top 10.
I don't think that necessarily puts us in a shitty place. or because here's the thing. So, how many games in a year do you normally finish? And let's disregard this.
Maybe.
How many would you peg as
20.
a fucking top 10? This has got to go in my top 10. I like it that much. Very
Not
few
many.
as well. So that's it's a hard one, man. It's not as easy as you'd think.
I had a kid that year, so that takes up a lot of your time. So I really wanted to commit to finishing 52 games this year. And my personal goal was get to the credits of 52 games. Now, it doesn't mean that I can just load up a game and go to the credits, or I had my own rules set. If you play through, I don't know, arcade mode in Street Fighter as one particular character, that didn't count as beating the game, from my perspective. If somebody else wants to count it, they can. But I wanted to make sure that it was a game that I was actually playing from beginning to end. Even short games. I played one game that was 30 minutes long. A couple of them, actually. But those counted from my perspective. So, we're getting close to the end of the year. I've been at it since January 1st, 2016. So, I wanted to kind of catch everybody up on where I'm at. and do little quick mini reviews like we've done in past episodes. Of,
All right.
should you pick it up, or if we gave review scores here, what would it be?
Would you?
So let's dive right in.
Okay.
First game is what is that? 36.
Well, that's Reggie.
That is Reggie. Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. So this is a game that I picked up when it launched.
What up, little barbecue?
And I played quite a bit of it with my wife, but I never finished it. So, I was kind of on a Wii U kick for a while there. Played through a lot of Wii U games with you. So I thought this would be a good one to go through. So played through it all again. It's great. It's a really good game to play with someone who doesn't really play a lot of games because it's not overly complicated, but it's complicated enough to where you kind of have to solve a puzzle while you're working your way through the little globe-like maps. So I had a lot of fun with it.
Anything else to say about it?
Hold
on. By the way, I'm sorry. Go on. I'll bring it up after.
It's something that I would recommend if you're a fan of Nintendo games, and B, if you have somebody to play through it with. It doesn't have cooperative play or anything like that, but it's a good
There's a lady Toad too, right?
There is a lady Toad, Toadette.
You reckon they?
No, from my understanding, they're
You reckon they fuck?
Anatomically correct.
Were they asexual too?
Yeah. Them Toads, that Toad life.
Dude, if Toads are asexual, they would have. What's he getting money for? Why is he trying to track treasure? He could buy what?
Well, he takes the treasure.
He ain't buying pussy with it.
He takes the treasure, so he tracks all his treasure, and then he goes around and he puts it in the blocks for Mario. So he finds it, and then
us asexuals have to work towards our
context
sexual
around the
gods.
Mario universe.
God, that's fucking. Now this is a travesty of what this is.
Visually, one of the best looking games of this generation.
You think so?
Yeah, very the animations are spot on. As Pebba mentioned, the worlds in a book were cool. Just the way that it was like a little book. Toad equals Pat, true story.
And Aikenner says you're a great dad, Major Tom.
Oh, thank you.
Jesus Christ, dude. Let's not fucking. Oh yeah, like I swept the floor once, and it's like you're a master of the custodial arts.
Dang.
Let's not freak the fuck out, Aikenner. Jesus Christ. I'm kidding. I love you, baby.
I always worry about if I'm a good dad. Well, I hear that's the
don't
first
come
step
to me.
to
I'll tell you.
I'll
tell you you're not.
I mean, shocker, right? Coming from you. But I hear if you worry about being a good dad, then it is the first right step in actually being a good dad. Because I think that's the big thing with not good dads.
You better get that then. Sorry. But yeah, you're probably right. It's good to be mindful when you're not fucking up too horrible.
It is the kind of game that, when he gets a little older, I'll play through with him.
So, the thing I was wanted to point out was, look at our badass font that we have. Yeah. And now I want you to read the topic.
Major Tom's 52 and 52 update.
See, those used to be non-Roman numeral fuck this.
Yeah. But we're using that Friday the 13th font, which doesn't have actual numbers after 4. I didn't
notice that. I was like, 3v1? What the fuck is this? Alright, but yeah, that's all.
We'll see you back in a second, Pates. Number 37, I believe. On keyboard. That's your first time to use a keyboard?
No, there's a thing I'm trying to get out of the keys here. A little dingleberry or something. Alright, moving on. Which, by the way, really quick, you would recommend that, and what would you rate it?
Oh, yeah. If I was to give it a score, I'd give it an 8. 8 out of 10. Good game.
That's good.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with an 8.
Nope. 8s are solid.
They certainly are.
Next is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. This is a game that you and I played through together on stream. It is spectacular.
When it's ones that I've both played, I'm going to give my score recommendation as well.
Spectacular.
10 out of 10.
Really?
It is a fucking must-buy.
I would say it's a must-buy if you have a Wii U. 100%.
I mean, well, okay,
it's one of those games that when we do a legitimate Wii U eulogy, that, this will be brought up.
I don't give anything a 10 out of 10, I guess, since nothing's perfect. But it's 9.5, whatever. It is the closest to perfect. I have zero complaints about it.
It's probably my second favorite Donkey Kong.
Which is shocking.
Yeah.
That it either beats out 1 or 2.
Definitely.
Whichever one.
Definitely. Excuse me. But definitely Donkey Kong Country is what it is.
Thoughts, praise?
One of the things I really like about it is the way that the levels are designed. Like, every platform isn't just some floating platform of bricks in the sky.
The amount of moving parts. and are
Yes.
insane.
It's like you jump on a platform that's basically like a treehouse or like a boat that's like rocking in the water. The amount of variety in the levels is, I don't know. I guess it's just like visually, it changes so much from level to level, from going to like just the standard jungles to all the common types of levels you see, like a desert world and things like that. But they put twists on a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like there's that one that it's got all those fruits in it. I also
That was a great description. It was like a fruit processing plant where there's like
Yeah.
blades coming down and chopping them apart, and you were on the minecart going through.
Yeah.
There was a lot of detail that was in there, and as far as like, and also with the levels and transitioning that happened during the levels, right?
Yeah.
That didn't need to be there. They could have gotten away with not doing it. Truthfully, they could have. Thankfully, they didn't though.
Yeah.
Because that really fucking stands out.
Texville Davis says it's good enough to justify buying a Wii U. I think there are enough games on the Wii U to justify buying one, but I would wait until the Switch comes out, and I would buy a Wii U then, because you could probably get one for dirt cheap.
I don't think it's worth buying a Wii U for, but
I think there are enough games out there that are worth it.
If I was going to say any game was a system seller like that deserves to be, I would say it's this one.
Yeah. It is a very hard game, but it's not a like Dark Souls, like frustratingly hard to be hard.
Well, I don't know.
It's just very, very
playing it solo
well
is
designed.
not that bad. Playing cooperatively,
I think playing
hard
solo
as
even
shit.
would be challenging for.
it would.
the
It still would
average
be.
person.
I think like more
It's
more than
more challenging than a Mario platform.
Yeah, for sure. Fuck, it's more challenging than probably any of the other 2D Donkey Kongs I've ever been.
Yeah. It is a game that I would like to go back and 100%.
Yeah,
So
I'm down with that.
Would I recommend it? Yes.
Same.
If I gave it a score, I would say 9.2. No, 9.3. 93%. Like, not quite up there with like a 95, but like, definitely not as low as a Donkey Kong should have been packaged with the console, probably would have sold better. Maybe, I don't know. Donkey Kong
That's the
Country games
biggest-
are not super popular.
That's the biggest fucking. No, I think you might mean like the game might have sold better.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, that's the biggest fucking travesty here. Is that this game did not sell that well.
Yeah. And it concerns me because I really want Retro to finish out their trilogy.
Or I just don't want them to. I don't want Nintendo to can Donkey Kong Country all fucking all together.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
Yeah, I'm good to move on if you are.
All right.
Game number 38, Gunman Clive. So Gunman Clive is a 3DS game. It's very short. It took me a little over 30 minutes to play through. It is like a combination of Mega Man and Mario, but in a Western world.
It's like Westworld.
Sure.
Yeah,
You've been watching that at all?
No.
Watch
the first 2 episodes. Couldn't get into
You're
it.
watching Walking Dead instead.
I watched an
Cool story,
episode
bro.
today. For the first time in years. Gunman Clive, huh?
Yep. Gunman Clive. It's got platforming and things like that. The art style looks just like what you see in this picture here. It's also super cheap. It's something that you can get for like less than $5 on the 3DS eShop. They also made a Gunman Clive 2, so it did decent enough to actually
Clive,
warrant
Too
a second.
Furious.
That's actually the name of it.
I know. It's gotta be. Go on.
Yeah, it's if you like games like Mega Man, I think you'd really enjoy it.
All right,
It's a little bit easier than Mega Man, like I said, if it's kind of more in a Mario realm. But the way that the platforming and shooting and the level design is very Mega Man-esque. Would I recommend it? Yeah, I'd get it for as cheap as possible in some form of a sale. And if I was to score it, 7.5.
Not
I almost
bad.
bought a Wii U when Mario Maker came out. I would say that's almost a system seller. If you're A, into creating levels, or B, just have like a massive love for Mario platforming.
Yeah, there is an infinite amount.
Yeah.
All right, moving
Then
on.
move on.
Devil's Turd.
39. So they bundle that with Donkey Kong, and I would buy a Wii U. They may actually have a bundle. Comes with Mario Maker and Donkey Kong.
See, here I thought tribal tattoos were douchey. I had no idea.
So this is one of the rarest physical games on Wii U. It's like super hard to get. It was selling for like a couple $100 a couple of weeks after it came out because every GameStop only got 2 copies. So played through this on stream, and during a couple of different nights, you might be able to go back and actually catch some of the archive. It's still in there. It's a bad game. I mean, it's like one of the lowest rated games on Wii U.
Yeah.
Like critically across the board, it has a lot of bad reviews. But I was really, really enjoying it for like the first 3 or 4 hours.
Out of how long though?
It ended up being about 6 hours or so, maybe 7. And then by the end of the game, the last hour or two was just like, is this over yet? Can this game please end? But it was a lot of fun at first. It allows you to do melee combat. It has weapons and stuff like that you can use. And you do the globe-trotting thing where you go to a bunch of different areas.
Who would want to play as that character, though?
Yeah, not a very interesting character. They tried to make it interesting, but...
I mean...
It's almost 9:30. Gotta be somebody tomorrow.
Alright, good night, Canada.
Yeah.
It's like there was this Onion video about a little kid. Like, we're interviewing the writer of Fast 7 or Furious 7, whatever. There was this little boy who was like, and then the helicopter, and then bop, ooh. And then it shows like sync clips to it. Like, this is the sort of shit like I could see like a 7-year-old making. Like,
it's made by the guy who made the Ninja Gaiden games.
Like, that has got to be the lamest looking main character. Now, that's lamest looking. How was the main character actually?
He was super lame.
All right,
uninteresting. No like dimensions to him whatsoever. Very flat.
So you're not saying it's. So what you're saying is it's not filling the gap. The definite need that we have.
Yeah.
Of bald, pale protagonists. You're saying we don't have enough of that?
No, there's definitely enough of it.
Oh no, I'm sorry. You're saying there's too much.
Sure.
Okay.
So, yeah, I actually really enjoyed it at first, and then it just kind of fell off a ledge. Would I recommend it? Not necessarily, no.
Not necessarily.
Like, there are a couple of things that
just
are
tell
actually
us how
really
you really
fun.
feel.
All the boss fights are cool. Like, there's a good variety of boss fights.
Define cool. Tell me about it.
What? Define cool.
You can't say this game kind of blows, but the boss fights are cool. Like, how are they cool? Like,
so
I can only imagine the bosses are cooler than this character, and that might help it out.
Maybe. You're in an arena, and the bosses have a variety of different attack moves that you have to do like you would like a Ninja Gaiden game. Like lots of counters. They're all weird and interesting. It's kind of like a Kill Bill style thing where there's like a Japanese one, and there's like some huge guy with dreadlocks, and they're all caricatures, and they're all super over the top.
All right, so it's almost like you have the most bland ass character possible, and then kind of bombastic villains.
Yeah.
All right, so it's like Batman, but if Batman was like 4 or 5 rungs worse.
Yeah.
All right, I can dig.
BBP back, baby.
Let's see. Batman says he looks like a mix between Vin Diesel and Drax the Destroyer.
Fair assessment.
Paramore Josh says, who was the stronger to arm wrestle? Probably him. A. Kennedy says he's got that I'm defending my son's honor strength. Similar to another sort of strength that is seen in particular individuals. Let's see. It's the new Conan. God, I hope not. Now, was this the one with the super sexy bosses that turn into demons?
Yep, exactly.
Right. Okay, well, I can see that. Great boss battles then, huh?
Yep.
So upon being asked, would you recommend it? Your answer was not necessarily.
There are people that have kind of a certain taste for games like this. They know that the game is bad, but there is a certain type of hook that they have for action games or an affinity for action games.
Right.
And I think it does decently at those areas sometimes.
Okay, here's the real test. Where would you score it?
A 5? Probably a 5.
It does fall into not necessarily recommended territory.
It's a very special type of person who would enjoy a game. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else on Devil's Turd?
Nope. Ready to move on to game 40. Gears of War 4. So if you guys have been watching the JDig and VKP streams over the last week and a half or so, you've been watching them play it. I loved this game. I think when you have a new developer taking over a franchise, kind of similar with something like Halo, it's kind of up in the air. You're not really sure how they're going to do, if they're going to do enough new stuff, or if it's going to feel enough like the old ones. Are they going to change too much? And especially when you're talking new characters in a new setting and a new time period, you kind of wonder if they can capture the magic of the originals while still adding enough new to the table. And I felt like that they absolutely did. It's the coalition of the guys who developed it, and you can't tell that it's a new development when you're playing. Like the roadie run feels right, and the active reload feels right, and the chainsaw feels right. Everything feels exactly like Gears of War should feel. But there's enough new elements like the weather effects and the kind of the structure of the campaign. There are quite a few of those like epic moments or set piece moments that happen throughout the game where you're like chasing a plane, or you're like riding a chain up through a giant hole in the ground. And that's pretty cool. Remember watching you stream this, Major T? Seemed pretty cookie cutter. I don't remember it being that great.
I think he's talking about Devil's Third.
Yeah.
I think you're like, best part out of Gears of War 4, chasing that plane, baby.
No, it was dope. Not the best part, but it was dope. And there's a really cool part at the end of the game that's like a set piece moment where you get to control something different. I don't want to go into it for spoiler reasons, but
yeah, that's fair.
It's a lot of fun. And the story works, and they do a good job of setting up like a future trilogy. You think, so the guy in the middle is Marcus Phoenix, the main character from the first one, his son, JD Phoenix.
I see Reggie.
Yeah, Reggie's in there as well.
But that's the guy on the left.
Yeah.
All right, so Marcus Phoenix. I'm sorry.
Marcus Phoenix's son, Reggie.
Okay.
And then I think her name is Kate. Or Kat.
I think her name is Kate. Okay. So
Yeah,
well fleshed out, interesting character. We know the other two.
I just can't remember her name. She what I kind of like about it is she plays JD's love interest, but they don't, like, people are probably going to go through the game and not realize that they're a love interest because they don't like overdo it. There's just like small subtle conversations between the two of them. You're like, oh, they must be in a relationship too. So I think that's really cool. It's not like some blown out of proportion, I have to save my girl or something like that. So I feel like it's handled really well. There's some good humor to it. There's a part where you're actually at Marcus's house when you're getting attacked, and they destroy his greenhouse, and he's like, "Not my tomatoes." That part's really good.
I've heard about it 4 different times from 4 different people who played, and like that tomato scene is something else.
It's hilarious. That should show you something. That should show you something. Gears of War. One viewer compared the game to The Force Awakens, which I agree. Yeah, I actually completely agree. It plays out very, very similarly to the first one. It's a new cast of characters, and they're interesting enough to be able to carry the franchise forward.
What advice is it? You're gonna love DKP, I guarantee it. Infinite's warehouse guy. And he says he also can't let the Reggie joke die. Yeah, I didn't do it this time.
Nope, this is all me, baby.
And also, Text Photo says, did you Photoshop the... No. That would imply either one of us either A, spend time to use Photoshop or know how to use it.
Yeah.
So, to answer your question as straight as possible, no, we did not. So, would you recommend it?
Yes, 100%.
What would you score it?
9 out of 10. What, is that bad?
No, but it's too close to Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. It's like, how can you? Is it that fucking good?
If you like Gears of War.
Okay, that's fair.
Like
I do like Gears of War. So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I
haven't played it since the second one, but
that'd be like me reviewing a game that you don't like per se.
No, it was just weird. I was like, God damn, that's only 0.5.
No, it is a really good game. It is, if you have an Xbox One, it is a must-own.
All right, fair enough.
Very good. They did a great job.
No, one of my most fond gaming memories ever was in Gears of War 2 and playing cooperative and having to carry that ice chest thing. It was literally like that before the Family Guy Blue Harvest thing where they were carrying the couch and bitching at each other thing came out. I'd already experienced that, so it made it all the better. Like I know exactly what they're talking about.
So yeah, Tim seems really damn high. Yep, it is. It's a good game. Very, very good game.
Good.
I think one of the best Microsoft or Xbox exclusives, hands down.
Glad to hear.
And I haven't played the multiplayer, which I love the multiplayer in the old ones, and I haven't done the Horde mode. This is just me playing through the campaign. So yeah, let's move on.
Fair enough.
Game 41. Battlefield 1. Do 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 do.
So yeah, it's funny that you were doing that, and in my head I was hearing Terminator theme, and then you roll it into Terminator theme.
Because they do sound very similar.
They didn't to me until you did it with the mouth. The do. And then it's like, they are but like one and the same.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you like how I was going down on the chain?
I did, yeah.
No, he does a thumbs up.
That's my redacted version, I guess.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah. I fucking adored the campaign of Battlefield 1. Potentially could be one of my favorite Battlefield 1 or one of my favorite first-person shooter campaigns of all time. Army of One.
Dude, Army of One 2 was
Army
fucking
of 2?
was great. Oh, it was called Army of 2.
No, he's talking about Army of
that.
1 like the commercials. I heard Terminator 2.
Oh, never mind.
So Battlefield 1, the campaign in this one, they break it into like little like short. It's short stories. It's like vignettes, little short stories. It's like 6 different stories. The first one,
I just have never heard you use the term vignettes.
that's just how it's described in a lot of different places.
Has earthy undertones. Okay.
You can buy it now at your local Kirby Lane.
I was gonna say I would have to Control F Kirby vignettes to see.
So it's little short stories. There are 6 of them. The first one's really short, but it really kind of grabs you right from the beginning. So it starts and you're right in the middle of a war zone, like a battlefield, and you're playing and you're shooting your guys and stuff, and you get killed. And then it goes to a black screen and it pops up and it gives the character you were playing as name and the year they were born and the year they died. And then you switch over to another character. It like pops. You kind of respawn as someone else, and then it does the same thing. When you die, it gives a name and a date. So sometime in the intro, you get to a part to where you're in a church, and there's a guy with a flamethrower, like kind of chasing you around, and I'm like trying so hard to stay alive, and I'm dodging this guy, and I'm like, I got this, and then he ends up killing me. And I'm, of course, same sort of thing: name, birth year, death year. And then it switches over.
In your head, you're like, oh, he was only 19.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, oh shit, this is a bunch of kids fighting in this war. Which like it is with all wars, but the ability to resonate, with how young the people are who are dying for their, respective countries.
Well, it's very similar to when you hit a certain age where it's like you start looking at porn actresses and like, oh, they're younger than me now. This is weird.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time, they were older, right?
Yeah.
Back a couple years, maybe. And it was the same way with this. It's like, oh, yeah, no, I do have like 5 years in that fucking dude.
Yeah.
Or 6 years or 7 years in this person. Like, oof.
Yeah. You've lived 5 more years than he has. Very strange. So then you switch over, you're out, and then you switch over to somebody who's in a tank. And you're like kind of close to where that church is, and you look over and you can see him, the guy with the flamethrower, in there just like burning people down, but you're in a tank. So I just like aim the cannon, fucking blow him to shreds. And it's just this vindication of like, I gotcha. Great feeling. So, and the campaign kind of, at least in the intro, kind of carries that theme of like death, until it gets to the moment that's in the trailer where you see like 2 guys standing in front of each other.
Right.
They're the only ones left on the battlefield, and they're just standing there and they just both just kind of drop the guns. Like, I can't believe that we survived this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
and then it's full on fucking Wolfenstein-esque surfing bird fucking machine gun, full metal plated armor nonsense.
Nope.
I liked it.
Completely disagree.
You disagree.
Completely disagree.
Go on.
From there's a story that's around a tank.
No, that one was the only one up outside of that first one that I really liked.
A crew. We'll call it a crew. It's a tank crew, so it's like 5 or 6 different guys who are in a tank together.
I thought we referred to them as the lads.
Okay. The second one is based around it's a pilot who steals a plane and like has this photographer gunner guy with him.
It's a unreliable narrator-esque thing, which is
the third one is around a guy and his brother who are both trying to accomplish the same thing, but he's going in like head first wearing this massive suit of armor and has a minigun. The fourth one, which was my favorite one, is one called The Runner. It's about it's an Australian guy who's like a war hero, and he's a little bit older, and there's this kid who's like obsessed with him, and he joins the military, and he's like, "Hey, I'm your new runner," And he's like, no, you're not going to run for me. You're too young. So he goes, like, the main character guy runs and talks to somebody, and he's like, hey, what the fuck is this kid doing here? And he's like, yeah, he definitely lied on his application, but, he's going to help you. You can't change anything about it. So it's you kind of having the story of like storming a beach, and you like ride a horse in that particular one, and you're trying to make it to a certain area, and then it gets to a point to where that kid ends up getting lost, and you have to go save the kid, and it's my favorite one. It's so good. And then the last one is a Lawrence of the Arabia story, where you play as
Did you say Lawrence of the Arabia?
No.
Okay.
Lawrence of Arabia story.
Never mind then.
Where you're it's just a standard, hey, we're trying to destroy the artillery of the Ottomans.
Hey, we took Lawrence of Arabia and somehow made it generic feel.
I didn't feel that way at all. I did think that the Lawrence of the Arabia one was the weakest of the ones. I felt like what made all of the little short story campaigns so good was that at the heart of each of them was a relationship. So the heart of the tank crew, and then the guy who stole the plane. There's a scene in that one with the plane guy where he's talking to him, and he's like, whatever you do, like, don't leave me behind. He's like, help me, protect me, like, do what you can for me. And then he gets to a part to where his friend's like laying on the ground, and he's like, you said you wouldn't leave me, and he like has to make a decision whether to leave him or not. That seems so rowdy.
Back before I infiltrated the British National Army, I was a piece of shit, apparently. This is kind of that one you're talking about. Yeah. But nobody could blow my cover. They didn't think. I just said I was from, Worcestershire. And they were like, okay. And it's like, this doesn't make sense. And now, so that one and the tank one, like, I had high hopes for the rest of it. Tank one I thought was great. The first one, which is more of a tutorial, that's what it serves a purpose as, right? Is a tutorial, which is like, it shows you all the different modes of play. That one was very emotionally heavy hitting, right?
Slowly but surely all the members of the crew start dying.
That was no, I'm talking about like not the tank one.
Oh, okay.
But the one before that. That was very powerful, like a message of like, hey, yeah, war is hell. That's the general, I guess, gist of it. And then the tank one was good. I'm not sure what they did differently, where it's like, okay, I know these characters, I feel attached to them in a way.
Yeah.
So when one dies, it's like, that's a fucking bummer, and it sucks, The plane one, a little bit better.
Dude,
a little bit worse.
The parts where you're like on the Zeppelin as it's like being destroyed, that is insane. So insane.
Right, but it was all the ones after that. So like half the campaign, I guess half the campaign I really like. The other half, I do not.
I really like the one where it's the two brothers where they're tackling something differently. And like I said, you have that suit of armor.
But that's not... So they had a big boner, and they should have, for historical accuracy. That is nowhere. That is not at all. And it didn't feel that way either. It's like...
It felt that way to me.
Well...
It did. It legitimately did. It felt like, oh, this is cool. I didn't realize they had armor like this in World War One.
Okay, well... we're not going to get into a discussion about World War One. It's not exact. It's a gross over exaggeration, but it's not. It's not the same way that it's like, well, maybe this is a unreliable narrator thing because they already did that the story before it, right? Like he literally gets hit by a plane and is like, "Oh God, now I better take off my armor, just save my life." But that plane, like, I don't know. There was that. It went from like nuance to like Wolfenstein 3D fucking like Duke Nukem-esque stuff. And then in the runner one, I guess like I didn't understand what the fuck was going on most of the time. It was like, what the fuck's a runner exactly?
It's like, someone who gets information from one spot to another.
Right,
spot.
That didn't. Yeah, I guess I missed the memo on that. So I can summarize that one by like, I just started running. That's what I did and I won.
Yeah.
In the last one, Lawrence of Arabia, this sums up how I felt about the previous two campaigns as well. Where it's like, okay, I feel like this was a full-length movie. Right? Like, there was character development, there was all this shit.
Yeah.
Yet I'm only getting, like, the last 26 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Or maybe the middle 26 minutes. Where it's like the one in the Lawrence of Arabia campaign, where there's a moment where the character you play as, which is like a woman, like, Egyptian.
Female
or
Arabian.
And they have this moment with each other that it almost seems like, hey, look, this has been a long time coming. Like, I promise you something, and I'm going to try to deliver on it. And it plays out exactly like that, but it was like, wait, but I missed the
To me,
Why
that was
exactly is
the
she
only
important?
campaign that I
Like-
will agree with your perspective on. Just like I said, there was a relationship at the heart of every campaign, but there wasn't in that one. It was like the relationship between those two characters either didn't exist, or like you said, it had existed around that particular event. Like there wasn't a heartfelt moment between the two of them, which I would prefer. I would like to. Like these are like character studies, and I love the one that you don't like where he's wearing the armor, where it like starts and he's an older man and his daughter comes up and is like, "Hey, you look so handsome in this
it
picture."
starts
And he's like, "That's not
really
me. That's
strong
Mateo."
and serious. Like,
Yeah, he's like,
they're
"That's
gonna take this
Mateo.
really
I'm going to tell you the
seriously,
story of Mateo."
You know,
And then like you get to the point to where you finally get to the castle and you clear the castle out, and then after you clear out the castle, you're just like, "I have to find Mateo."
King of the castle.
So like it's like a cutscene kind of thing where you're just going around like looking through all the bodies to try to find Mateo, and it's super heartwarming.
I
Very
guess
sad.
I guess like I didn't get that same emotion that you did because like once he was literally hit by a plane, like big hit by a car, like on the road, right? Like hit by the plane, and I was like, "Oh, bruh, this armor's too."
I'm triggered.
After that, I was like,
I'm triggered. I can't enjoy this anymore.
No, I had that like sort of slight like lower jaw, like what sort of thing for the remainder of it, which is pretty quick after that.
Yeah.
Like what? I thought everyone was like, "Hey, you're gonna do World War I tastefully, right?" Which I'm not like, "Oh, this is untasteful." No,
yeah.
right?
Oh,
But like,
this is so untasteful.
no, but like they were like, "Look, we're paying extra careful attention, right? That like this is historically accurate. So this is like we don't want to be just like there was all that press about it, right?" And they nailed it for the first two, and that's just why like the third, or I'm sorry, for the first three, I guess. And then I was like, "What the fuck is?" I don't know. That's when I felt it falling off.
It's weird to me that that's the moment when there's literally a scene where you like jump off a plane onto a zeppelin and like work your way through a zeppelin that's like basically crashing, and then you get on top of a gun and on the zeppelin and destroy another zeppelin. Like
No, I felt that way during playing that, but when it had the twist of the unreliable narrator of like, well, maybe that didn't happen. Maybe I am just a piece of shit. It was like, oh, that's clever. It's like an M. Night Shyamalan twist.
Yeah.
But it worked.
See, but I don't feel like he was saying maybe it didn't happen. It was the idea of maybe he's not actually a hero. Where he's like, people are saying that I'm either a hero or not a hero. And maybe all of this stuff wasn't exactly how any of this actually went down. I took it as more of him choosing to exaggerate a particular moment. Like to, I don't know, make it like seem better than it actually was.
Right.
So, but yeah, I loved it.
So we're gonna comments and we'll move on. It's almost turned into a Battlefield topic. Well,
Yeah.
it kind of did already. But overall, I'd say that the game is fucking tremendous, though.
For sure.
Multiplayer is incredible, especially that pigeons mode. Oof. But let's see. Hashtag trigger plane. DKP leaps onto Zeppelins all the time. It is totally. Also, I want to talk about I don't know if I said real quick. It would be cool to have had. I don't think we've ever had this campaign where you play as a medic.
Yeah.
That would like if you're wanting to bring like emotion into it, which like
I really want to see.
I would
Hacksaw
imagine.
Ridge.
Is that the movie with Andrew Garfield?
Yeah, where he plays somebody who doesn't kill anyone.
God, I've heard it's great,
Yeah.
but when I first watched that trailer, I couldn't think like. It reminded me of the movie Radio, where it's like, we hate you, oh now we love you. Thanks, Radio.
Yeah, but like
It's
rags
so
to riches story
corny.
in terms of a character development. Those
It's
are some
so
of the best movies
fucking
seen.
corny, though. Dude,
Dude, like Forrest Gump,
Man, don't you say Rocky.
Rocky, Forrest Gump.
Now you gonna
Somebody that's a nobody becoming a somebody based on like doing what he believes in. I gotta do what I believe in.
I won't kill anybody in the war. Ah, fuck this.
Yeah.
Look,
very unique.
it's very possible the trailer was just cut really corny, and the movie's great because it's been getting great reviews. So.
Yeah. Mel Gibson directed it.
Okay.
Might not be
also,
the best person in the world, but he's a great director.
Textful Davis says, how many hours did it take you to finish the camp?
Not long, like 5, 6.
That's
short.
You get a watch.
You all right? All right, let's move on. We got a bunch more to do. Batman Arkham VR. So this is another one of those short games that took me a little under 2 hours to do. Pretty incredible experience. Like putting on the cowl. My favorite part from the entire game is the first time that you go down into the Batcave. Because one of the cool things about VR is the sense of space. Like you feel like you're in a different space. And being in the Batcave, and the Batcave is huge. The scale of the Batcave is absolutely huge. And there's like a waterfall off in the background. And you can go and like press buttons to like pull the different Batmobiles, like the Batmobile or the Batplane or whatever. Pull them out and like rotate them and stuff. And the Batmobile is as big as you would think that it would be. It's like massive, twice the size of the room. So that part was exceptionally cool. It's basically, there's no combat in it. You're just kind of solving puzzles. And where it takes place in the story, it's one of those games that I had to like go back and read information on because I'm like, I'm not quite sure I understand what just happened here. But yeah, the Killer Croc stuff is cool. The penguins in it. A couple of other things that are super spoiler territory, so I won't get into those. But
yeah, I didn't know either one of those characters in it at all.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying like you spoiled it, but
Robin's
I didn't
in it,
know there was that
Nightwing's
much like content. Period.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
It's you trying to solve a murder. So
A murder.
there's one part where you go into a morgue,
right?
And you have to like, you know how in morgues or hospitals they'll have like those model or mannequin versions of a body that have like you can like take the heart out and you can take the liver out and all that stuff. They have one of those, and you have to like track down all the different pieces. It's pretty cool.
Sounds goofy, but like I'm sure the context of it's cool and creepy.
Yeah. It's weird. It has Riddler trophies for multiple playthroughs of like trying to track down little hidden puzzles and stuff like that. Mage Tom, Batmobile. It does have a Batmobile. Ooh. You don't drive the Batmobile, but there's a Batmobile in it.
Hey, that's. I think every prep ape should have a Batmobile.
Okay. Instead of the Reggie face.
Yeah, we'll just hide Batmobiles everywhere.
Very good. I think it's one of those that you show people whenever they come over and you're like, check out this, VR. This is one of the ones that you show some people who actually, understand video games or have a passion for Batman. It's a showpiece game.
Passion for Batman?
For Batman.
I've got a passion for Batman.
Not Batman, Batman.
Why not both?
Because that wasn't what I said.
All right, fair enough. Well, would you recommend it?
Yes, I would recommend it if you have a PSVR.
On the VR side of things.
Probably an 8, just because it is a little on the short side, but the experience is there is super solid. And it also does have that weird like effect that like PlayStation Move controllers, like sometimes it won't read 100% perfectly. But I can say, like I said, it is a little bit short, but I played through it in one sitting, and by the time it was over, I was like so ready to get out of that headset. I was covered in sweat.
Right.
Ready to get out of there.
As you do.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Then move on. The old Banditlanders. So, yeah, latest Skylanders game. Plays just like all the others. I was a little bit disappointed with the addition of microtransactions. If you've never played a Skylanders game before, they're like Diablo Light. But instead of there being, like 5 or 6 different classes, there are like 200 different characters, and the characters all have different classes and abilities to them. They are elemental, so like earth and fire and wind and dark and light and tech and all that stuff. So, water. And they all have different elements, and then they all have different abilities. Like Crash Bandicoot was a brawler. So, it's a lot of fun. They're really simple, really straightforward. They're good stream games because it doesn't require a massive amount of your attention. So right. You can kind of read the chat while you're working through it.
So what did you think of the new Crash design?
I don't like the Crash design. The creating your own Skylanders thing was kind of cool, but the way it works is that you unlock gear and like headpieces and different types of arms and legs and stuff throughout the game. That's what your unlockables are. So having finished the game, I still only had about 50% of the items that you could use to create a character. So imagine like you make a game that's like, here's 10 different faces, but the other like 30 faces that you can use are all locked. You could also, if you didn't want to have to find them all, you could pay money to get random ones in a pack. So it had microtransactions.
It's like Final Fantasy All the Bravest.
I haven't played that for sure.
It's basically like,
It's your standard like mobile game type thing, but this isn't a mobile game. This is a console game. Skylanders have RPG elements. Like, can you level up characters? Yes, you can. You can. I think the max level is 25 right now. And then, of course, depending on the difficulty, is how quickly you can get him up there. By the time I was halfway through the game, I had Crash completely maxed out. He was a beast. But yeah, I enjoy the Skylanders games. I'm gonna play them for a long time. As far as where this one would rank, definitely not my favorite Skylanders game, but not my least favorite either. So probably somewhere in the middle. I liked it better than the year before last, but probably not as good as last year.
So would you recommend it in score?
If you like toy games, if you have games that you want to play with kids, I think it's a great game for that. But our audience, I don't know that it really fits in with a lot of stuff they would be interested in. It is one of those things that you can find a bundle, like a Bunduru. You can get like a Crash game from like 3 years ago, like an older one that comes with 2 characters in the portal and all the stuff you need for like less than $10 at Walmart or Toys R Us or something like that. They go super clearance after a couple of years, so it might be worth picking up one of the older ones to see if it's something you get into.
All right.
If I was to rate it, I'd give it probably an 8, like good. Personally, my taste.
For a Bandolander, that's not too bad.
They also launched a Netflix cartoon with it, which is actually pretty solid. It's got Gilbert Godfrey. Wait, not Gilbert Godfrey. Bobcat Goldthwait. One of those weird names with a weird voice.
Right.
It's got
not gonna be talked about on Prep Paper anymore.
What's that guy that Norm Macdonald? Norm Macdonald was in it, and he's probably the funniest character on the show.
Naturally.
Crash Bandicoot's in it, and he has an Australian accent.
Does he?
Yeah. Spyro's the main character. Pretty interesting. It's a good show to watch with the kid.
I don't know what accent I would have liked him to have, but no, I just prefer him not to talk. Period.
Whoa!
Because when you do shit like that, then you have Sonic and Tails. We gotta get chili dogs. Yeah, we're obsessed with Dr. Eggman.
It is Bobcat, yeah.
Or the infamous first line uttered in Sonic Adventure 1. Oh yeah, this is happening. Ew. All right.
But yeah, pretty solid. I'd recommend it if you like these types of games.
And 8 out of 10, not bad.
Yep.
All right.
Then moving on. Titanfall 2. Finished this one recently. We actually talked about it a couple of streams ago, so I'm not going to go into too many details on it. I think it is an extremely fun campaign. The mechanics, like mechanically speaking, the way it feels to run and to shoot and the way that the guns feel to shoot, like everything feels really great about it. The running on the walls, the double jumping, the way it feels in the Titan feels really great. There's a lot of interesting little moments where it's like, there's ships flying through the air and you have to jump between the ships while you're above them. I thought that part was really cool. But other than that, it felt a little bit generic to me. Like kind of like a THQ game, I guess, from like 3 or 4 years ago. Or 5 years ago. One of those games that you're just like, what the hell is this? And, it's like $20. You try it. It's pretty decent. It feels like that. It feels like a game from a different time. With that being said, I did have a ton of fun with it. I thought the relationship between Jack Cooper, the main character, and excuse me, BT7274, I think is his name. He just calls him BT. I thought the relationship in that was going to be a lot more robust. I thought they were going to have a much better, conversation flow, but didn't really. By the time they were done, I wasn't like super connected to either of them as characters. So appreciate the disclaimer. Yeah, pretty solid. Another game I'd give an 8 out of 10 to.
It's exactly what I'd give it.
I think it's worth checking out if you're interested in something like that. I think the Battlefield 1 campaign is a little bit more of a standout, a little bit more of a highlight for me.
I would agree.
Never mind.
All those vignettes.
I was about to talk about the Game Awards, but we'll talk about that.
If fucking Battlefield 1 is a vignette, or a bunch of it. This is a bunch of like marionettes. You know what I'm saying?
I do know exactly.
You get it? It actually kind of works because it's piloting, it's puppeteering. Get it?
Yeah.
Give me them ribs.
Don't you touch me. I ain't got no patience for your shit tonight. Got no patience.
All right, we gonna move on?
Yep, let's move on.
Let's do it.
Undertale.
wish I could leave the room for this one.
Why is it going to break your heart hearing this?
Well, no, it's just how many times there's even a joke in the game where he's like, "Oh, watch my favorite TV show," and it's like, "Oh, I swear to God, it's normally better than this. Don't judge me."
Yeah.
It's very much one of those circumstances where it's like I hyped it up so much, like this is one of the best games I've ever played.
Yeah,
it's probably my top 10. Like, it's the old style. Like,
25.
it's the old style, like Chrono Trigger of Final Fantasy VII, of RPG, where like it hits you in the like you know these characters and you're really invested, and like you get sad or happy in the end. And not all of that landed the way I wanted it to with you.
I think there's a lot of reasons behind that.
Yeah.
So, this is a game that we played during the 24-hour stream. The goal was to completely finish it. I think we gave ourselves 8 hours, right, to play through it.
Mm.
And I'd never played it. DKP's been trying to talk me into playing it forever. So I played a little bit of it, probably about 3 or 4 months ago, and I really liked it. But yeah, I just thought it would be a good time to try to do a full playthrough of a game, and Undertale seemed like a good one to do. It is one of the most charming games I've ever played. Super charming. The characters are all funny and interesting.
You got to get Papyrus up here, man.
Yeah, Papyrus is my boy. Papyrus is hilarious. He's got that bowl of biscotti up there. So there's a lot of really interesting mechanics to it that you don't see in a lot of games. One of the big purposes, or one of the I guess gameplay mechanics, is you can choose to go pacifist, where you don't actually kill anything. So you have to kind of sweet talk or make fun of, or you have different dialogue options, or I guess not really options, or not really dialogue, but you get a choice and that how you want to respond to a character. So, excuse me, if it's like a dog, you can pet the dog.
Oh boy, can you!
Yeah, that part's hilarious. So, you mentioned that. I don't know. I'm gonna say you were a little bit disappointed that I didn't enjoy it as much as you thought that I would enjoy it, and I think that that's not the game's fault. I think that there were circumstances surrounding that.
I think that's this DKP's fault, which it is a little bit.
Well, I do think partially it is your fault, and I don't mean that.
No, that's why I feel bad. Otherwise, I'd be like, whatever, man.
But it's not like you fucking ruined this game for me or anything like that. Number one, we were under pressure to finish it in under 8 hours. So there were a lot of conversations I was skipping, a lot of characters I was just running past. I was just trying to make it through. We ended up not even finishing it, so that was really heartbreaking to get,
We need to go back and finish it later.
2 hours away. Yeah, we ended up going back and playing through it another night, like not on stream. I felt like the bullet hell stuff, there was a couple of things with that. Number one, like every hour, DKP would be like, I guess I'm just really good at bullet hells. Like he would just say that
just like that, but I know what you're saying.
He would make some sort of comment about
what I would say would probably be like, I'm sorry, like I didn't.
I just didn't have that much trouble with this particular scene.
Yeah, it would be something like that.
It's like when your friend invites you over to play Street Fighter, and they're really good at Street Fighter, and then you're like, Street Fighter sucks, and they're like, no, it's one of my favorite games. Well, maybe if I won a match, it would be more fun. It was a similar feeling to that, where it's like, oh, cool. Not only am I rushing to play through this, and it's
because I kept saying like, oh, for sure we can do it in 6 hours.
Yeah,
but we'll give it 8 just in case. But it was basically to explain myself. Like, yeah, when I was so adamant about this being 6 hours,
yeah,
it's because I didn't get stuck here. Sorry, I don't mean I was just bullshitting just so you play Undertale, kind of like that. But yeah. No, if you took it as
just drained the fun,
as a fucking
drained the fun right out of it. Just took the enjoyment. It's oh cool, I'm being watched and judged for the way I'm playing this game because I'm not doing it well enough. Great, that makes this way more enjoyable. I can't wait to play through it again. So excited.
Well, it goes it's a 2-way street there, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, we need to beat this in 8 hours, but this ain't gonna happen. But I can't just say, well, hey, let me do this one part, because otherwise it disqualifies from the 52 because of some asinine rule.
And it also wouldn't be as fun for me to not to have the ability to play through it, because I wanted to play through it. So, which again, I'm not mad at you about it. It just means that I
happy to ruin it for you, Major T.
Oh man,
I'll be there next time for you, baby.
Cheers. But yeah, super charming. It's very, very funny. One of my favorite parts is there's a part where you are going back and forth between a guy who's at a burger place and these two girls. What were the girls' names?
Braddy and Caddy, I think.
Braddy and Caddy. For some reason, I was thinking Becky, but their characters like that. So we were playing it. We were doing voices for all the characters, and that made it a lot more, I guess, engaging. So yeah, I had a lot of fun playing it. It's a great game. I think there are circumstances that prevented it from being better for me or more enjoyable for me. And if I could take it back, it's definitely a game that I would have played.
I could turn back time.
It would definitely be a game that I would have played like on my own, in my own time, like not under the pressure to try to finish it under a certain amount of time. Because I think that really kind of takes away from the experience. With that being said, highly recommend it. Like, this is one of those games that everyone should play. And it is a bit jarring the first time you play it because the visuals are very, 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 how would you say it?
They look
dated.
They look cheap.
It looks like it doesn't even look as good as an NES game in a lot of areas.
It doesn't always look that way. Like
Yeah.
it puts it at a good starting point for like, hey, set your expectations for how the rest of the game is going to look here.
Yeah.
And then at different points, it jumps around and it uses that to be like, oh, fuck, this looks way different.
Sometimes the art style will absolutely blow you away. And at other times, you're just like, this looks like Pitfall.
Yeah.
Like,
so I want you to
it's part of the charm.
Score the game.
Yeah.
And also score the soundtrack.
Oh, the soundtrack is incredible. Like, one of the better video game soundtracks of the last, 15 years. Potentially of all time. Super, super good. It has a lot of, it does what's it called? The particular type of music where it's made out of video game sounds.
8-bit music.
8-bit, yeah. There's a lot of 8-bit stuff, but they find a way, or the artist, the writer, whatever, he finds a way to make it sound epic in points where it sounds epic. Basically, he sets the tone for the areas and the places that you're in or the fights that you're in extremely well. With the music.
Also, a lot of ones start out 8-bit and kind of slowly, near seamlessly, go into actual orchestral shit in a way that you almost don't notice it.
Yeah,
it's a very interesting way that they did it, which I thought was
the soundtrack
pretty
is
awesome.
Magical.
So would you score that and then score the game?
I think I'm gonna give it 2 scores. What I think that I would give it. Well, what I think that I would give it had the circumstances been better. I think a 9 to a 9.2. I would probably give it an 8.5. So still really good, really solid. Very much enjoyed it, but make sure that you're playing it under the right circumstances, not with DK,
or not under a fucking gun to finish.
Yeah.
I would give it a 9.9.
9.9, near
both.
perfect.
Near perfect. Yep.
Like it. One of the best games of all time.
As far as I'm concerned, yeah.
Cool.
But that's just me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
What's
All
next,
right.
baby? Virginia. So I played this on Sunday. Streamed it. It's another one of those. I think my playtime was about an hour and 52 minutes when it was all said and done.
Yeah.
It is a very strange and interesting game. It is a walking simulator, I think is the easiest way to describe it. Not as not in a negative way. It's just how you would describe a game like this. You play as an FBI agent who is trying to accomplish a couple of different things, and it's you playing her over the course of 5 different days. So one of the things that was kind of weird about it, you'll play for a couple of seconds. So let's say that I'm playing as the character now, and I'm exploring the room, and I would open the door, and then I would walk into the living room, and then the scene would end, and it would pick up with me somewhere else, in a car. And then you could look around a little bit, see things that are going on, past a sign, and then the scene would end, and then you would appear inside of an office.
Right.
So it's just it was very, very quick and short, short little cuts between scenes. It was weird but cool from what I saw. Yeah, it is. The more I think about it, looking back on it, the more I liked it. I didn't really care for it when I
very
finished
little
it.
about it. Yeah.
It's interesting, and it was a game that when I finished it, I was like, "What the fuck just happened? I don't understand." Because there's a part where you're at a sacrifice where you have to kill a buffalo, and everybody's wearing masks. It's got like an Eyes Wide Shut vibe going on at one point. There's a part that, I don't want to get too much into spoilers, but there's like this idea that there are aliens abducting people. So it's got like an X-Files kind of vibe to it. There is no dialogue whatsoever, and there is no subtitles, no voice acting, none of that. It's all just told like through the game. So,
what number is this though?
this is 46.
Okay.
Game 46.
Yeah, we fucked up when we chose that font.
Yep. I posted in the Facebook group. I was like, "Hey guys, we're gonna be a little late. We're having font issues." So,
Well, I admire your transparency because that's correct. But so yeah,
it's interesting. I think it's I don't know if I want to say it's worth playing, but I think if you're into weird games like that, I think it's worth
well, like
checking
it's
out.
not an episodic thing, is it?
No, one and done.
So
The entire story is told over the course of 2 hours. Go
Did
back
you
and
feel-
watch
did
the.
you feel like you
go
got-
back and watch the stream?
no, I'm all right.
Not you particularly. You watch literally none of our stuff.
Well, because I'm there for most of it, and when I'm not, it's like, I can just drink beer and watch YouTube videos or do something not that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. Give those YouTube videos all those views.
Oh. No, so like, did you feel like you got like a full story, or there was a full story to tell?
There's definitely a full story to tell.
Okay.
Like I said, it's a couple of different stories. Well, it's one girl accomplishing 2 different things. There's something going on with her like FBI partner, and then there's a missing kid case.
Okay.
So you're investigating stuff about the missing kid, and then you're also dealing with some stuff with your partner. So, like I said, when I finished it, I had to like go look up what the fuck I just played.
Right.
Like something that was like, here's explaining everything that happens in Virginia. So that helped a lot, and I liked it more after that.
So is it almost like Twin Peaks?
Yeah, it's got some Twin Peaks vibes to it. Some Twin Peaks vibes, some, like I said, some X-Files stuff to it. You don't really do the walking simulator thing very often, but it's something that I can almost recommend to you. Like, I can't say I'd recommend it to you, but I can almost recommend it to you. I don't think that you would hate it.
There's a big difference between walking simulator and an adventure game.
Yeah.
Walking simulator for me, I reserve for games that are very much that meet this criteria of, hey, I want to make a game. I'm going to buy the Unreal 3 engine suite that comes with pre-built assets and everything, and built a game that I'm not going to have any other functions that actually take like programming to do.
Yeah.
You have to pay somebody or learn how to do it. I'm just going to make a thing like where you walk. It's almost like I just made a Source Engine 2 map, which is pretty easy. Plug all the shit in there and then sell it. Those I hate. Ones that actually like take... Because you see like adventure games, like in these days, you do walk around 3D spaces. Like the spiritual successor to Myst came out recently. Got great reviews. You do walk in first person, but there's a lot more to it than that. A lot more game mechanics, puzzles, that sort of thing, than your average walking simulator.
This doesn't have any of that stuff.
Okay.
This does not have like game mechanics.
Well, how much does it cost?
Less than $10.
All right,
Pep says he'd like to more after the explanation too. But yeah, all you guys out there, I would recommend going and watching the archive of it. I played it Sunday night. Did some silly commentary over some of it. Tried to figure out what the hell was going on in live person. You can watch me trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. So it's a pretty interesting stream.
I understand that feeling. Go back and watch my Yume Nikki stream or whatever it is. That weird Japanese game that I played. Where for 2.5 hours I was like, why the fuck am I playing this? I have no fucking idea. There's no dialogue in that one either, so.
Yeah. You like the Reggie head placement in this one?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it all. Can't help but see his face and just gonna get a little bit of a grin, you know what I'm saying? You get it.
Yeah.
Alright. So what would you score it? Would you recommend it?
7. And yes, I would recommend it.
Yes,
I would. After talking about it with you and thinking back on it, I would recommend it.
Alright.
It's different, it's weird. And you might not be happy with what you played, but you lost an hour and 52 minutes. So whatever. You lose more than that watching YouTube videos.
I just I brought that as an example. It's like, well, I don't know what I do. Otherwise,
Play WoW.
well, yeah, there's that too. All right, so moving on to Albois.
So this is a game. I was talking to DKP about this on Monday. I was telling him like how much I adored this game, and how I really wanted him to play it. But I told him I didn't want to like affect his feelings on it or overhype it because in a lot of ways it reminds me of Undertale. All of the characters in the game are not in gameplay and kind of in visuals, but not really. But all of the characters and kind of the story and the adventure that you go on, it's a little bit more like epic or grand, I would say, than what's in Undertale. Undertale is a very subtle story. Like you just kind of working through these things to just leave. This is like you're trying to stop the end of the world kind of thing. But all the characters are super interesting and over the top and kind of silly. And the general idea is you play as Owlboy. It's a side-scrolling, or not. You don't actually play as Owlboy. You play as a character named Otis. Element, your dick, Major Tom. Don't ruin Owlboy like DKP ruined Undertale. That's what I'm trying, like, not to talk too good about it. Yeah,
no,
absolutely. He's going to go into it with a certain expectation or a certain feeling. So
I'm going to get revenge on you for Undertale. Yeah. I'm gonna take a game that I probably would genuinely like and be like, I hate it.
I tell you what, this game is so boring.
I tell you what, this has got to be the biggest piece of shit that I've played since Bobby's World.
I really like watching Owlboy. Yeah, Owlboy's very cool. So
yourself.
You play as Otis. Otis is someone who's training to be kind of a soldier. But when the game opens and you're talking to like the head guy, and he's telling you kind of what a piece of shit you are and how terrible you are at being a cool, good character. And the whole game is built around this idea that no one like respects Otis. No one likes him. I mean, a couple of people like him, but it's you just like trying to overcome obstacles of, people thinking that you're worthless. And he doesn't have weapons or anything like that, but there's a lot of shooting in this game. Because how it works is you carry different characters around. So you fly around the map, but there's different characters. There's like a guy who has a gun, and you pick him up and carry him around. And as you progress through the game, you unlock new characters, like a guy who has a flaming shotgun. And I won't go into the last one because it could potentially spoil it.
All right.
Texas popped in and goes, the Arrival sucks.
That's what's last.
So much yawn in one movie. I still want to see it. I want to see that and old Hacksaw Ridge. So it's a 16-bit, somewhere between 16 and 32-bit. Like it's more colors than your average 16-bit game, and it's extremely beautiful. The music is extremely good. It's very epic and orchestral, and highly, highly recommend it. One of my favorite games I played this year, and a game that will inevitably, for sure, be in my top 10 games of the year, and will probably be super high. Like at one point, I plan to rank all 52 games from my favorite to my least favorite. So my guess is it'll be high on that list. The way I heard it described, which I thought was a really good way to describe it, is like the feelings that I had when I played Shovel Knight in 2014, I think, are the feelings that I walked away from with this. It's got an old school sensibility about it, but there's enough new to it to make it feel fresh.
The way that you put it to me the other night, actually, apart from anally, you put it to me pretty good there. But when we were talking about Owlboy afterwards, you said like, all right, look, if Shovel Knight was a, I guess, love letter to the NES generation of games, and it's like, wow, it's great that it's this newer technology, but it's able to have all the benefits of being new technology, but give you that feeling of an NES game. This is the same thing with Super Nintendo.
Yeah. And it reminds me of like the type of games that you play, like Adventure Island and Hook, and a lot of the games of the Games You Should Have Played series on youtube.com/Chainsaw8.
Yeah.
That's just Google YouTube and Chainsaw8. I don't know if that.
You want to go see young, naive, impressionable DKP.
But it reminds me a lot of those types of games. So I definitely think everybody should play it. It's only on PC right now, but you can pick it up on Steam. I think it's $25 or so. Worth every penny. Can't wait till it comes to consoles. I'm definitely buy it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. One more.
Let's see. TechSite says, "Did you play the Dark Souls 3 DLC?" No. All my saves got fucking erased. And I logged back in with the big smile to go, "Yeah, this is gonna be awesome." And then once I realized like hundreds of hours of gameplay was lost, I haven't gone back.
Yeah.
Eventually, maybe one day.
Cartoon Network Battle Crashers. I'm not going to talk about this for very long. I played it Tuesday night with J-Dig, Doug. We played it for a little over an hour and a half. And it's a side-scrolling beat 'em up. It's similar to something like a Battletoads or a Double Dragon. But you play as all the different Cartoon Network characters. They're all interdimensionally locked and things. And it's not bad. It's a little bland. Well, actually, it is bad. I'm going to say it's bad. It's a little bit bland. It's a little bit boring.
Up to what Phil Davis was saying. You never rate anything lower than 6 or a 7.
Yeah,
your rating system is off. So if it's bad, just
I'm a big fan of video
man.
games. Yeah, and this is definitely going to be below a 6.
So it'll be below a 5.
Do what?
It'll be below a 5. Can you do it? Oh, all right. Well, now you had my curiosity before.
So I did finish it though. So, and that's kind of the thing. Texas Phil Davis is, if I'm not enjoying it or if I don't like it, I just stop. But there was enough here for me to kind of, play all the way through it. I had read that it was 4 hours long, and after the hour and a half that JD and I played, I was like, shit, I only got 2.5 hours left. I'll just knock through it today. I ended up playing it for like 5 or 6 hours after that, because I got stuck in a couple of areas and I needed to level up, because a lot of the characters can level up and get new abilities.
Got that Undertale syndrome,
right? So yeah, it's pretty bland. I think one of the things I don't like about it. So there are total. I think there are 18
What
levels.
type of gameplay is it in general, anyways?
Side scroller beat 'em up.
Okay.
Imagine it like Simpsons arcade game.
All right. Yeah. Oh, it's one of those. Yeah. Okay.
You can play 2 players at once, of course, and you just switch out between all the different characters, and they have different abilities. So there are 18 different levels, but you play through about 40 levels because you end up having to go back. So you'll play through a level and you'll get to the very end and it's like, hey, sorry, you have to have this item, and this item is in that place you were at 3 levels ago. So you have to go back to the main menu, choose that level, play through that level again, get to the end, get that item, and then go back and replay the level you had just played. It does that literally like 12 times or so. So it's just like padding for padding's sake. Yeah, it gets pretty dull. It gets pretty boring. There does hit one of the other parts that's weird is like, okay, you have to get this particular shard, so you have to go back to this level and play it. But you have to go back and play it on a harder difficulty. Like, there's a mode called Inferno mode, where basically the entire level is on fire, and your health is constantly dropping. So you have to kind of run through it really quickly.
It just sounds annoying.
It is. It's annoying. It's
been fun.
If I was to rate it, I would give it a 4. Would I recommend it? Unless you're a huge, hardcore fan of all of these Cartoon Network shows, I wouldn't recommend it.
So no.
No.
All right. And yeah, no Adult Swim characters.
Nope.
Lack
of Death Clock characters makes it a 2 at best. I give it a 4. Has a couple of redeeming qualities, but not enough to say it's worth it. All right, let's move on, because we're at an hour and a half, and we still have quite a bit of show left. So yeah, the short road to 52, because I don't have much left. I have 4 games left. Working my way through Call of Duty, which, by the way, we streamed it Monday night. I was not having fun when we streamed it. I went home and played it the next night. I had a blast. So I think it's a time and place kind of game. I think you have to be in the right mindset. I don't think it's a great game for me to stream. It just kind of, I was invested in what was happening. And, I talked about with Titanfall 2, the relationship between BT and Jack Cooper.
Between BET and Jack Cooper?
BT.
Titan. BT.
BT.
I thought you were talking about Black Entertainment Television. I was going to say, who is Black? What was the name of the guy? Forget. Something Cooper?
Jack Cooper.
Who is Jack
Super
Cooper?
Super generic name guy.
And what does he have to? You know what? Doesn't matter. We need to move on.
So in this, you have a relationship.
I don't have anything good to say.
You have a
funny.
You have a robot companion in this as well.
Yeah.
And the relationship between you and that robot is actually much cooler. Much, much cooler in Call of Duty than it is in Titanfall.
Don't say that.
It is.
All right. Well, you know what? That's fair.
There's a funny part in it where he's in the Navy, the robot.
Right.
All the main characters are in the Marines. So he's like, there's one part where they're all in a ship and they're flying, And one of the guys, like the lieutenant guy, asks the robot. He's like, the robot's name is Ethan, and he's like, "Hey, Ethan." He's like, "What do you do when you run into?" Or he's like, "How does the Navy handle hand-to-hand combat or some particular type of combat?" And he goes, "Call in the Marines." And then everybody on the ship's like, "Whoo!" And it's like super funny, and like everybody's laughing.
Senpai Arkham Tomato, hit us with a hashtag got him, would you?
Yeah,
for what he just said.
Whoa.
That's the new gimme
Be
them
careful.
ribs. Yeah.
Be careful.
Not that we're replacing it. But,
So yeah, short road. I have 5 or 4 games left.
no, but just to remark real quick on what you said a minute ago, there is definitely a big difference between games that are great, or games that are mediocre, games that are decent, and then there's a separate category, and they could share with all three. Games that suck ass to stream. Where it's like, wow, I have to be super invested and serious about this. Otherwise, the entire appeal of it is fucked.
For sure.
And, I guess unfortunately.
And depending on the tone of what the stream is, like what the tone.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
You're trying to have, the conversation that you're trying to have.
Unfortunately, I guess like our stream isn't one of those ones where it's like, well, we just play and don't read comments.
Yeah.
So, be it for better or for worse, not all games work.
Yeah,
it happens.
And you just gotta figure that out as time goes on. That's why I said, like earlier, I was talking about Skylanders. Like Skylanders is a good stream game because it's a game you're just walking around beating stuff up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have like 4 or 5 games left. There are a couple of VR games I'd like to play through. I'm really trying to debate whether I want to shoot for Final Fantasy 15 to be complete this year. Because I'm definitely going to play that. It launches in a couple of weeks. But I hear it's like 50 or 60 hours. So I don't know if I want to try to commit to that being one of my 52. Because I don't want to like super rush through it. I want to be able to take my time and kind of enjoy it and not try to finish it by the end of the year.
Right.
And then B, depending on how close I am, I may not be able to finish it. So VR games are cheating. They're like 2 hours long. Depends on the game, you fucking prick. I make the rules. You beat 52 games this year? Alright, then go fucking suck a dick. You senpai angry tomato piece of shit.
So speaking of him sucking dicks, he will be here tomorrow night stream with me, and it should be a pisser.
Yay.
If you want to tune us for the after stream at chatterbait.com/chainsaw.
Meatspin.com.
No, chatterbait.com. It's our other streaming website.
Gotcha.
/chainsaw.
Gotcha. So, I really also, I either want to start Mafia 3 or I want to do Rise of the Tomb Raider. I still kind of want to play Doom before the end of the year, so I beat Nintendo 64 games this year. Does that count? It's up to you how it counts. Clearly. Would it count for me if it would count for me if it's a game I'd never beaten before. You play old, new, orange, yellow.
Alright, moving on.
Yep. Black Friday, Bunduru.
The Brack Friday deals of Bunduru roundup.
I like that there's a close parentheses, but there's not an open parentheses anywhere.
Did you put that there?
I don't fucking
Did you put that there?
I'm gonna guess no.
Who put that there?
I don't know why I would put it there. Plus, I got a nice little Reggie over there.
Regardless, let's not focus on the right bracket.
Did you beat
Let's focus
Deadly
on
Tower
on
of
the
Monsters?
Reggie.
Yes, I did. That game has got me right now. It's fucking amazing. Yeah, it was really good. There's a lot of okay, so I have a link here that lists out a bunch of games and where you can get them for super cheap. So I'm going to go through it. Not the entire thing. Is there anything that you're interested in knowing about? And you guys as well. If there's anything you're interested in, let me know. I'm just going to kind of go through a couple of different highlights. So at Walmart, you can get Assassin's Creed Syndicate for PS4 and Xbox One. $8. Batman Arkham Knight for $15 at GameStop. Batman Return to Arkham, which is the Arkham Asylum in Arkham City. You can get that at Walmart for $25. By the way, I'm telling you the cheapest places to get all these things. And I'm going to post this in the Facebook group. The Batman Telltale series is $15 at GameStop, which that hasn't finished yet, but $15 is a steal. You can get Battleborn at GameStop for $10, which I know people are super hungry for that one. Battlefield 1 is $27 at Walmart. Battlefield Hardline is $8 at Walmart. Bloodborne is $15 at Best Buy. You can get BioShock the Collection for $30 at Best Buy. Civilization 6 is $40 at GameStop. You can get Infinite Warfare for $35 at Target. You can get the Legacy Edition for $57. That's the one that comes with Modern Warfare for $57. Normally $80 at Walmart. Dark Souls 3. We were talking about that a few minutes ago. $15 at Walmart. Destiny the Collection, so that's like Destiny and all the expansions together in one box for $30. You can get that at Best Buy. Deus Ex Mankind Divided, you can get that at Target for $25. Doom is $15 at Walmart. Yeah, that BioShock collection, $30. $10 a game. Not too bad. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, which is definitely one I'm going to pick up, will be $25 at Best Buy. That game came out just like a week ago at $60, so that's a good deal. Dragon Quest Builders is $40 at GameStop. That's one I've been really wanting to play. It's like Minecraft mixed with Dragon Quest.
Right.
Fallout 4 is $15 at Target. Far Cry 4, $15 at Walmart.
So what about console sales? Do you have any of those?
I have some of those as well.
All right.
Far Cry Primal is $15. You can get that at Walmart, Target, or Best Buy. Gears of War 4 will be $30 at Target. GTA 5 will be $25 at Walmart. Which, if you don't already have GTA 5, what the fuck? Last of Us Remastered will be $10 at GameStop. Mad Max, that's one of my games that I would highly recommend that people didn't play because it came out the same day as Metal Gear. $10 at GameStop. Mafia 3. I know DKP was a big fan of it for the most part.
Still haven't beat it, but they've released content since. And I'm waiting till they release more content before I go and do the other half. But it's great.
You can get that at Best Buy or Target for $30. The definitive Metal Gear Solid 5, which is Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain, for $25. Mirror's Edge Catalyst is $20 at Best Buy.
Okay. I was about to yell at you if you said Mighty Number 9.
Mighty Number 9's on here.
I know. Don't buy that.
No Man's Sky is $20 at GameStop. Overwatch is $35. If you get it at GameStop, you get a free Baby Winston figure.
Hey.
Yeah.
That Babby Winston, baby.
Pikmin 3, which is a kind of rare game to find for Wii U, $15 at Walmart. Rainbow Six Siege, if you haven't grabbed that yet, you can get that for $15 at Target or Walmart. Ratchet and Clank for PS4, $10 at GameStop. Very good, very much worth it. Rise of the Tomb Raider for Xbox or PS4 is $35 at Walmart. Shadow of Mordor for PS4 is $8 at Walmart. That Skylanders Imaginators, $40. You can get that at Best Buy, Walmart, or Target for $40. Super Mario Maker is $35 at Target. Titanfall 2 is $27 at Walmart. Uncharted 4 is $15 at Best Buy and Walmart. Until Dawn, if you haven't played that, highly recommend that. That's going to be $15 at Best Buy and Target. Witcher 3 Complete Edition. So with all the DLC and everything, $25 at Best Buy. And if you have the Best Buy Gamers Club, you can take an extra 20% off that. Got Ratchet & Clank Day 1. Still play it. Great game. Hell yeah. Then a bunch of Xbox 360 games nobody cares about.
How did you make this list?
I didn't make it. I got it from cheapassgamer.com.
Okay.
From their forums. Consoles, there's a new new 3DS, new Nintendo 3DS that comes in black or white. It's the Mario edition. It's going to be $100. Doesn't matter where you go. If you can find it, it'll be $100. So totally worth $100 for 3DS. A 500 gig Uncharted 4 bundle for PS4 will be $250. That'll be at Sam's Club or Toys R Us. They have a PS4 Pro and a Toshiba 55-inch 4K TV for $750 at Best Buy. The Pro is $400, so basically for an extra $250 or $350, you get a 55-inch 4K TV with it.
Well, there was an article recently that said do not skimp on 4K TVs.
Yeah.
So I don't know the.
I wouldn't go with it.
So before you do that, I would do some research. Yeah. Because I don't know enough to say.
Because some of them have different
So-
latency issues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if you guys are planning on buying a 4K HDR TV, make sure you do lots and lots and lots of research first, because that's a lot of money to spend for potential issues. The Battlefield 1 Xbox One S with an Elite controller. So you get Battlefield 1, a 1 terabyte Xbox One S, and an Elite controller for $400.
That's fucking pretty good.
Yeah, the Elite controller's a bill 50 by itself.
That's pretty good.
So
Yeah, that is not bad.
you get an Alienware Alpha i7 1 terabyte Steam machine for $375. No, not feeling that.
I mean, no.
Nintendo Wii's will be $40 at GameStop.
Hey, get a thing that does the one
Not a
thing.
Wii U, a Wii.
Buy a thing that does the one thing computers do, just play games, but nothing else that you can use it for, right? No, fuck that.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. As soon as this episode's over and I get to the house, I'll post the link in the facebook.com/group/Chainsaw Ape group, our Facebook group, for all of your viewing pleasures. I'll pin this post so you guys can know where to get all your Brack Friday Bunduru deals.
Yep.
So yeah.
All right, well, moving on then.
So yeah, there was a thread on GAF of the top 5 Nintendo handheld games, because the Switch is kind of a handheld, but it's also a home console. So the handheld as we know it is probably going to go away. So yeah, we're going to take a little bit of an opportunity and talk about our top 5 personal favorites each, and we're just going to collectively call this the Chainsaw Ape Top 10. Papa Zom is back on Walking Dead. Of course he is. So without further ado, you ready?
Yeah, let's
go.
do this. All right, so you were going first.
Number 5, Mario vs. Donkey Kong for Game Boy Advance. So Mario vs. Donkey Kong is it's kind of a sequel to Donkey Kong 94, which was on the original Game Boy. And basically, how Donkey Kong 94 starts is you play the first 4 levels of like normal arcade Donkey Kong, like the Pie Factory and like all the normal levels. But then there's like 80 more levels after that. It's basically like the original Donkey Kong, but super like robust. And then Mario has a lot more, like a larger suite of moves. You can do like backflips and stuff like that. It's the first time Mario has the ability to do like front flips and back flips and wall jumps and stuff like that. And Mario vs. Donkey Kong is a sequel to that. And before it went off in this crazy direction where it's a game like Lemmings, because they become games like Lemmings where you have to guide all the minis. This one is a lot more straightforward, just like Donkey Kong, but you get like keys and you have to get to the end. Super puzzle heavy. Highly recommend this game. It was a lot of fun. So if you guys haven't played Mario vs. Donkey Kong, pick it up or play through it on an emulator or whatever it is that you have to do. Chainsaw Ape does not condone use of emulators without owning the cartridge. Next.
You don't. Oh, moving on.
999.
What are you looking at me for?
I don't know. I just thought you'd get a kick out of that.
You gonna make a joke about that?
So this is a game that I played through for my 52, and it surprisingly made it in my top 5 Nintendo handheld games of all time. And if you want to get super detailed into what this game is about, you can go back. But the best way I can describe it, it is a visual novel game where there's like a novel information / puzzle game. So you have to try to solve puzzles to escape these rooms. So think of it as something like Saw mixed with, something like Saw. Like Clue.
So Saw mixed with
Saw mixed with Clue.
Yeah.
So there are these 9 people, and they're in this area together, and they're trying to escape, but you slowly start to see that things with the people in the group that you're in are not as it seems. And it ends up taking a lot of crazy turns, and it's one of those games that when you get to the last 3 or 4 hours of the game, your jaw is dropped the entire time. You're like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. And it kind of maintains that pace all the way through. Now, they did make sequels. Nice. It is a trilogy.
9992.
The second one is called Virtue's Last Reward, and the third one is called Zero Time Dilemma. The third one just came out a few months ago. My goal was to play through all 3 of them for 52. but I kind of got bored with the second one, and then something else came around and that ended up grabbing my attention.
Right.
And my issue with the second and third one is they changed the art style dramatically. Like the first one is like anime cartoon style cutscenes, and then the other ones they like fully animate characters, but they look cheesy and dated and gritty. 999 is spectacular. Highly, highly recommend this game. I think when I did the review of it, I gave it a 9.1. And I stand by that. Probably actually even a little bit higher. There's some time travel elements to it that I won't go into that are really fascinating as well. So, let's move it on. So, if you've watched enough episodes of Preparation Ape or watched me stream enough, then you know that Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, my favorite Super Nintendo game of all time, one of my favorite games of all time. The first time that gaming went from a hobby, just like a, hey, let's play video games, to like a passion of mine. Something that I was enthusiastic about. Right. First time I ever played a game for longer than like 2 hours at a time was Super Mario RPG. So, of course, Paper Mario came out on Nintendo 64. And the original Paper Mario is very good. But it didn't quite grab me. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, to me, was much closer to Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars than what Paper Mario was. It had like the humor and the charm of Super Mario RPG, but of course it played a little bit different. So they've made a lot of Mario and Luigi games since then, but to me the first one is the best one. They did a really good job with.
So you would say Decibeso?
Yeah, I would say Decibeso.
Excellent.
What's Hunk doing on the 999 covers?
Right. All right.
Yeah, Superstar Saga is really good. Number 2. Metroid Fusion. So
this is gonna be number 2 on my list as well.
I was debating a couple of different things. Number 1, should I put a Castlevania or a Metroid game on there? I wasn't a huge fan of Metroid games. Like I didn't really like the original Metroid or Super Metroid. Until
the original Metroid can fuck off. Super Metroid.
I didn't play through Super Metroid until after I beat Metroid Prime. So I actually played. So Metroid Prime came out the same day as Metroid Fusion, and I actually played Metroid Fusion first. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yep. And it was the first time I'd ever really fallen in love with the Metroidvania style game. I wasn't really big into them. I didn't play Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I've still never beat Symphony of the Night. But I liked a couple of the Castlevania games. But Metroid Fusion, it had the story content, so it drove you to where you wanted to get to. It guided you a lot better than Super Metroid.
It's decently linear. Yeah. But that's not necessarily bad.
No, not at all. And especially
because for a Game Boy Advance game, back when you weren't used to having an experience that looked that good, played that good on a mobile device, right? Or on a handheld device. It was so what if it's linear? It's like Super Metroid in your pocket. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I like the story that they told. I thought it was interesting. I like the fusion suit. I know a lot of people don't really like the fusion suit, but
that's the only part of the series that I don't like, which is both those things you said. It's weird, and it's not for reasons that I think they're shitty.
Yeah,
it's because it makes the continuity of the series really hard. Because basically it says hey, this one, without a doubt, has to be the last Metroid game.
Yeah,
right. Which that's fucking kind of strange, right? And then Samus has always been kind of a silent protagonist, and that was people's problem with Other M, right? There's a little too much, and that was kind of the precursor to that. So, not saying you're wrong in thinking it's a good story. And if you take that and you say, okay, well, non-canonically, this is a separate thing.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you. But for people discussing the continuity of the series and all that, it just it's a weird wrench that they throw right in the fucking middle of it.
Totally understand that. Wrap your head around it. I don't mean this negatively. The idea that this is my first Metroid game I ever finished. I played a little bit of Metroid,
that's what I was saying,
Super Metroid. But this is your first one.
You know how I said
getting
if you
into
take that
the world
and remove it and put it over here, outside of thinking all that about other shit,
yeah.
I said it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Exactly the circumstance in which you played it. So yeah.
And similar to Super Mario RPG, when I was a kid, I didn't like RPGs. My brother was always playing Final Fantasy or Dragon Warrior. some sort of RPG with Paints by Pixel, actually. And I just couldn't get into them. But Super Mario RPG like helped me find my love for JRPGs and that type of gameplay. And a similar thing with like Metroidvania games. I thought they were like too complicated, like finding where to go was always super hard. They just didn't like click for me. But Metroid Prime or Metroid Fusion was easy enough for me to grasp how the way that these games work. So I was able to, go back and play some of the classics. And the Day Zero mission came out, picked it up, and I'm super hungry for a new one. But it's made me enjoy other, it broadened my horizon to the point to where I wanted to play other Castlevania games on Game Boy, DS, and stuff like that. So,
fantastic.
Yeah.
By the way, thank you very much for the host, Mr. Jonathan.
Yeah, appreciate it. And then finally, my number one Nintendo handheld game, The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap. No handheld list would be complete without a Zelda game. And there have been a lot of great ones.
Fuck, you better call it now, because I guess mine ain't complete then.
Why?
This isn't on the list.
What do you mean it isn't? No, I said no collection or no list will be complete without a Zelda.
Oh!
Just
sorry.
in general.
I fucked that up then. Let us move on.
Every top whatever, any list should always have a Zelda game on it.
Top 10 stealth games.
Minish Cap is not like super popular with the Zelda crowd. It's not a lot of people's favorites. But it is absolutely like one of the best Zelda games ever. Like it always ends up making it in my like top 5 of all time. It's a lot shorter. It's a lot more confined, but the art style to me is one of the best art styles. The characters are all super interesting. The temples are super interesting. Like the final temple, it's like a sky temple.
It's pretty incredible well designed when you think of the overarching like influence that Wind Waker as an art style. Like not the what is it? It's the first time I've ever blanked on this term. The cell shading, right? Yeah. But the actual art style that cascaded into many games under that. For sure. This being one of them.
It's placed really early on in the timeline, so you get a lot of surprises of characters that you see in. There's like the very first appearance of a major villain in the Zelda series appears for the first time in this game, and they handle that, and it's not Ganon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ganondorf then.
Nope. But yeah, it also has a really interesting mechanic where you can shrink down. And that shrinking down mechanic allows you to go into a lot of interesting parts and have a really cool like puzzle solving things. I think the biggest problem I had with it is there are these tokens that you have to find, and then you get the tokens and you piece them together, and then you get like a figure. So to 100% the game, to get all the heart pieces, you have to get all the figures. So it takes me, it's one of those games that takes you like 10 hours to finish the game, but it takes you 15 additional hours to get all of those fucking tokens. Like, so there's a lot of, and that's just to try to get the 100%.
When it comes to handheld games, it's kind of what you want.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And you just spend a long time like getting the tokens and then going to this like grab claw machine thing to get little toys. But yeah, the shrinking mechanic is really cool. And then there's a race or species of character that are about the size of you when you shrink. And those are all super cute and funny.
Those are the Minish, I believe.
The Minish, correct.
Yes.
And those are all super cute and funny. And yeah, absolutely adore this game. I know a lot of people love Link's Awakening, and I know people love A Link Between Worlds, and even the Oracle games are super popular. But Minish Cap to me is the best handheld Zelda. That's fair. That's my top 5.
All right. It's a good one, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm proud of it.
Yeah. This is the only one where I can't say, like, oh, that game sucks, fuck you. Which I love to do, by the way.
Yeah, of course you do.
I guess you robbed me of the pleasure this time. Yeah. All right, so we'll get on to mine. Indubitably better than Major Times. As always. Well, no. There was no Zelda on my list, which is a bummer. Actually.
There isn't?
Try to keep suspense.
Oh, gotcha.
All right, we're gonna move on to number 5.
Ah, the Pokemon.
And these are order from 5 to 1. This was a. I don't have a shitload of handheld games to put, but so the ones proceeding from now are going to be hopefully better. But I played, and I can't even describe the amount of time I put into this. I played so much that I became sick. From like not sleeping when I was a kid from playing
Yeah.
This and Pokemon Blue.
That's a good kind of
Pokemon
memory.
Blue specifically.
Who was
So,
your
yeah.
starter? Was it Blastoise?
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Is that the only option you
Well,
have?
well
or
back
do you
then,
get-
no.
I don't know.
In both of them, you have your regular 3 starters.
Okay.
The only real difference is, well, you play it in a Game Boy Advance, it's blue or red, like the regular color palette. You know,
Yeah.
how it has like that weird kind of
The
semi-coloring.
tint. Yeah.
And there are certain Pokemon like Jinx or other ones. Jinx might not be one. Far-fetched, some shit, right? That I don't remember anymore. You can only trade between the 2 versions.
Yeah.
So if you want to get all of them, you had
You
to
had to
have
buy
you either
both,
had to
yeah.
have both or have a friend who had the other one.
Bulbasaur for life.
And yeah, man. So blue was my favorite color back then, so I got
Yeah.
that one. And I was like, I gotta go with the water one, and you
Yeah.
know, and yeah. I was super. I used to know the whole Poke rap back then, right? It was embarrassing. But yeah, man. No, these great fucking games, good RPGs, and
I like that they're
No
RPGs.
regrets, man.
They're kind of. I'm not gonna say they're like super complex, but they're more complex than like your average game. That like a
See, I didn't know
5 to
that.
12-year-old.
but boy, fucking are they!
yeah,
When
and
it comes like when you look at the competitive scene,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's really cool that Nintendo could make, or I guess the Pokemon Company could make a game like this that like could appeal to a young audience, but is a little bit more complex than your average, person would get into, or average kid. Pokemon ever in? Can you beat the game when you catch them all?
yeah, there is credits, and then it's like
That's what you're trying to beat all the whatevers. What are they called? The
yeah,
gym. The
well,
gym
well,
leaders or-
you go to the Elite Four, and then you fight who was essentially if I remember correctly, like the last person from the last Pokemon game,
yeah.
or someone from the anime. Like it didn't say their name necessarily. Like in this one, they're just named Red. And it's like, all right, well, you're fighting Red. And it looks just like Ash from the series, and he's got his Pikachu and all that. So yeah, it does have all that. Your credits, your epic showdown, which you don't know you're fighting him. You beat the Elite Four, and it's like, oh, hey, this is great. I got it. And it's like, oh wait, no, there's one more challenger. Turns out he just made it here and fucked everyone up too. We didn't know about him before. It's like,
Bum, bum,
oh
bum.
Jesus. Yeah, Reddit says it, exactly. So
Senpai's
yeah,
going to a midnight release for the new one.
very nice.
You gonna get the new one?
I don't know yet.
I'm contemplating getting it and playing it on the plane.
Probably not a bad idea. We
Either
shall
that
see,
or Dragon
though.
Quest Builders.
Only time
Both
will
feel
tell.
like good plane games. If you get it, which one would you get? Sun or Moon?
Whichever one you didn't get. We could like trade, you know. If we needed
Senpai,
to,
which one
man.
are you getting? Sun or Moon? So I have 3 coworkers that I talked to about it,
Probably go with Moon.
and
if I
they're
could
all going
choose.
with Moon. So I think I would get Sun.
I'm going
Streaming
Sun
it
then, too,
tomorrow.
fuck it.
Here, I hope. Hell yeah.
All right.
Please do.
Well, if
Beat the
I
Elite Four barely.
yeah,
They
we can
got
do that,
raped by
man.
Red my first time playing.
he's got that super secret, top secret capture card 3DS. So yeah, man. All right.
So yeah, if you get Moon, I'll get Sun. Maybe we'll play a little bit of it.
You get the P, I'll get the B, man.
Sounds good.
Or we could just have a real sloppy fuck right now and call it a day. All right, number 4. Animal Crossing New Leaf.
I love how different our lists are, but they're also kind of similar. And not necessarily in the games themselves, but like tonally.
Yeah, and this is also a game that, 1, I wouldn't expect to have liked as much as I did. And 2, that I imagine many people are like, I did not expect that to be on this list. Right? But there's something fucking charming about to me, like handheld games are like, I just want to waste time. I don't want to get into anything super fucking serious, right? It has to be like I can pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down if I needed to. In the simple minute to minute satisfactions of, I don't know, catching a fish, selling it, paying off a little bit more of your fucking mortgage, living the dream, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Same reason why I really like Stardew Valley, which was ultimately better than this, but for a handheld, game's tremendous. So I gotta give it to it. It, as far as I know, it does not have an ending, so I can't say I've beaten it.
Yeah.
But I did put a insane amount of hours into it, and it's still
They just came out with a new update recently.
probably more to go. Yeah. Eat these What did they say? Good sheet. Yes. All right, number 3 for me. We're gonna go to Super Mario
terrific.
3D Land, baby.
I like this game.
I don't really have a whole lot to say on this one. It's a fucking tremendous Mario game for a handheld. I almost thought about putting Super Mario 64 on here. Yet that was before you could play it with a directional pad. I'm sorry, only with a directional pad, not a joystick.
And you
that
had
worked.
to use like that little thumb thing on the original DS.
That worked as a kid. When it first came out, I was like, this is great.
Play as Luigi.
It's like Super Mario 64, but I can go anywhere with it. There can't be anything better. No, the controls blow on it. But no, this is best Mario game on 3DS or on any handhelds, I would say. So that's why
really
it's
good.
on there.
It's
yeah,
really
no,
good.
it
I didn't feel like
tremendous.
the transition to consoles was as good for it. This is not the type of game I want to play on a console. So 3D World didn't like click for me. Yeah, thanks for the follow.
Yeah, thank you very
didn't
much.
click for me as much as I thought it would. But it's cool.
All right. Jonathan says, I was hoping Pokemon would go better, so I wouldn't have to get a Game Boy if I wanted to play Pokemon. Yeah, that's Game Freak for you, though, man.
Yeah.
Paint says, site is up to a new schedule. Fantastic. Everyone check out chainslife.com. Tech Slade, haven't even read it yet.
Respect has been lost. I'm assuming this is how you felt.
Fucking
when you found out
shocker.
I enjoyed Pixels.
And yeah. So, number 2, Link Between Worlds. This is...
There it is.
Probably, outside of Wind Waker, my favorite Zelda game.
It's really
well,
good.
I don't know.
Up there with Ocarina.
No, that's not the one that's up there.
Majora's
I do
Mask.
love that one. No, Link to the Past.
Ah.
This takes second place of top 10 Zelda ever. Number 1 is probably Wind Waker. I do like that one a whole lot. And this is So the one that it's basically mimicking as a mirror happens to be my second. They're both tying for the second slot. So there you go. So let's put it this way: number 1, Link to the Past. I'm sorry, Wind Waker. Number 2, Link to the Past and its weird Bizarro brother. Number 3, Ocarina of Time. So there's what else do you want me to say? Like, this is the quintessential. You have to fucking play this if you are a fan of Zelda. Or if you're a fan of Nintendo or you own a 3DS, play it.
So when this game came out, I said, I will now 100%... I would go back and replay every Zelda game and play through the ones that I've never played through before. Because I want to, it inspired me to want to play through every Zelda game. Never finished it. I got to Skyward Sword, got about 10 hours in, and I was just like, I can't do this. And then I just, all the wind in my sails was taken out. Still haven't played through Twilight Princess, which is a shocker. Because I really want to play through Twilight Princess. But it inspired me to want to play through the Oracle games, which I'd never done before, which are both exceptionally good. I'd never beaten Link's Awakening. I'd always gotten halfway through. So I beat Link's Awakening. But yeah, it's the kind of game that will inspire you to want to play more Zelda. So
yeah,
very cool. I contemplated putting it on my list, but after number 1 was Minish Cap, I just didn't want to over Zelda it.
Yeah, it's fair.
All right, and be over Zelda's.
Number 1, Nintendo handheld game of all time for myself, Castlevania Dinosaur.
Yeah,
tremendous title. Where to even begin? It takes everything you liked about Symphony of the Night: crisp sprites, great movement, great gameplay, great graphics, as they say, and added the whole kind of demon soul collecting thing, which provides you not only your base weapons which you collect and use, but 100+ sub-weapons. All are different. Some have multiple tiers of you collect a certain amount of souls, they change effect or shape. And you can use those to upgrade your current weapons into not only different weapons, but not only different stat-wise, but different weapons entirely. Like if you go with axes, right? And you're like, I'm gonna level up an axe, and which takes 2 mana core souls or whatever. So you go out and you farm and you get that. You come back. You'll eventually end with Death's Scythe, and it's fucking awesome.
Cool.
Exploration-wise, it's second to none. The only thing that I don't like is the touchpad interaction with some of the bosses.
Yeah.
But if you're playing on a 3DS, quite legitimately, rather than an emulator, and you have to take the mouse and do it, no problem. So, 10 out of 10 for me. This is one of the few, in my opinion, near perfect games. I know we've mentioned a couple of them tonight, Tropical Freeze being one, but this is the handheld version of that to me. Whenever you think you beat it, you haven't. If you don't want. I had a thing where I wanted to collect every soul from every monster in the game, and it's pretty difficult. But it's like a sort of a weird thing. Never did it.
Ooh,
one day I will.
Challenge.
Well, there's no achievements.
Here's a challenge.
But it was one of those things where a year ago, I'll go to bed and I'd spend an hour doing that, and close and go to sleep. Like it's great. Buy this game.
Wii U eShop. You know, Wii U.
No, I think it's Aria of Sorrow.
They have all of them. They have Circle of the Moon.
Dawn of Sorrow too. It wasn't last time I checked, but if it is on there now, definitely buy it. It's tremendous.
Yeah.
So that is my list.
Good list. Good job, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good job to us. Shut your dirty whore mouth. If I guess it was great.
Indeed, it is.
All right, let's move on from that terrible font that we didn't change.
Oh, do we miss that one?
Hey!
It
happens.
All right.
You want to explain this while I get these up and...
No.
Okay, this is Ask Apes Anything. You go to our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/the Chainsaw Ape group. I pin a post every week. You can go in there and ask questions, and then we'll answer those questions. It can be video games, it can be movies, it can be anything.
It's anything.
We'll answer it.
I would have gone over it, but I just didn't remember the Facebook link. But yeah. Want to say it one more time?
Facebook.com/groups/the Chainsaw Ape group. Number 1 comes from Big Juicy. He says, "What's the best prank DKP ever did to VKP?"
Probably the amount of times. This is an accumulative thing where I've just like be outside smoking a cigarette and I'm like, it's been a couple months since I've done this. And I pop back and be like, oh my god, VKP, Bill Murray's in a coma. Or they just found fucking Tom Edelstein dead at his hotel room in Manhattan. Like, really? No. I do that often.
Yeah, I like that.
I can't think of any real elaborate ones, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I can't remember his name, so we're just going to call him Manzi. He says, what role does Chainsaw Ape see virtual sex games playing in the future of VR? And we all spin off a segment to review and stream said games with the name Chainsaw Rape.
I need to go secure that. I need to go secure that Twitch name immediately, for one. 2, a huge role. 3, I don't think you'll see it on Twitch, though.
I don't agree with any of those things. I think there will be a huge market for it. I think it'll primarily be in Asian countries. I mean, there's already a...
What are you trying to say?
Trying to say that they...
You're saying those who speak Mandarin are
preverts?
No, I won't buy into any
I
sort of bullshit like that
man,
here.
You do you. I don't judge.
Oh, really?
Except for when you're like, Undertale's the best game ever. I'm like, nah. I'm just kidding.
Until you're like, Nintendo's the only people with premium products.
I think $10 is too much to pay for any video game.
Because that's what I said.
There's more comments to that, but none of them are questions. So, Wesley Wright, he says, what was his name?
Right here,
yeah. Says, you guys plan on going to see the new Totally Not Harry Potter movie?
Got tickets this Sunday.
No, I don't.
Gotta make the wife happy somehow, you know what I'm saying?
Who would the two of you rather fight? Jak and Daxter or Banjo and Kazooie?
Jak and Daxter, easy. Fucking
the bear and bird will fuck your world.
Good luck fighting a bear. You know what I'm saying?
And that bird that like stabs. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
You almost lost yourself right there. Idify7 asks, thoughts on the Nintendo Classic shortage? Typical Nintendo.
Were you trying to make a joke like that? That's what I would say? Or?
No.
Well, then I'm with you. Yeah, it's fucking absolutely typical.
Idify7 asks, will there be a shortage on the Nintendo Switch? Yes.
Oh, you better believe it. I'm sorry. Believe it.
Yeah, if you hear about pre-orders opening up, make sure you go stand in line. Request a day off. Do whatever you need to do because you're not getting one. If you plan on getting one on launch day without pre-ordering. Good fucking luck. How can Nintendo avoid shortages in the future?
By not intentionally creating them.
get more factories or whatever it
Top.
is. Get more factories that develop the hardware and start developing it sooner.
Like I said, by not intentionally creating them, which I feel like they do.
Yeah.
But hey, who knows?
That's Major Tom's version of Give Me Dim Ribs. Out of the 5, this is from my device, says out of the 5 Chainsaw Apes, JD, Tomato, Major Tom, DKP, and CC, please list them in order of tallest to shortest.
You're tallest.
Yeah.
I'm second tallest.
Yeah.
Tomato's third tallest.
Yeah.
JD,
Yeah.
BKP.
Correct.
There you go.
I-Defy7 asks, Watch Dogs 2, will you be playing it at some point in the future? I would like to hear your opinion on it. I would like to play it, but I'm not like hungry to play it. It's one of those, it's like, oh, it's $30 now. I'll pick it up. I hear it's really fun.
My answer is no. I won't be playing. I don't want the whole, hey look, we here at Ubisoft understand hip. And we understand kids. Everyone loves their LED face masks as much as the next guy. That's hacking. These people know computer code and networking. Believe me, they do.
Hack the world!
Exactly. I'm not interested in playing a modern, but more serious take on hackers with Angelina Jolie and whoever played Zero Cool, dude from Trainspotting. Whatever.
I-Defy7 asks, thoughts on Dead Rising's 4-player co-op? It is
Great.
not a campaign mode. It's not co-op campaign. It's just like a survival mode.
Either
So,
way, great.
I'm less interested in it because of that.
But I am with you on that.
That might be fun to do with like all of us, you and I, and a couple of the guys in the audience.
Yeah.
I-Defy7 asks, now that the reviews are out for Pokemon Sun and Moon, do any of you plan on buying it? I didn't until today.
I
Right
haven't
now.
even seen the reviews, but
They're all good.
Do you
Nines
have to
are
see
higher.
it? It should be the review should be this: like, is it a Pokemon game? Yes or no. Pokemon Go would have been no, right? See, there is one that does not fall there. The rest is well, yeah, okay. Well, if you're in that camp, then you'll buy it.
Yep.
Which, in this instance, I guess we are.
I-Defy7 asks, I would like to see a definitive list from Chainsaw Ape on best to worst Marvel MCU movies. Can you chimps make this happen?
Oh,
we could probably
should
make that
do
happen. Let's wait until the end of the movies that come out in 2017, which includes Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Black Panther, and Spider-Man: Homecoming. And after those are done, we'll do our definitive.
So after those three,
Yeah.
All right.
After those 3
do
are
it.
done. Like right now, generally speaking, if it has Captain America in them, then it's one of my favorites.
and it's one of my least favorites.
Yay!
Well, that's not true. If it has Winter Soldier in it, it's one of my least favorites.
Gotcha.
Which is 2/3 of the fucking Captain America universe, which... Oof.
I-Defy7 asks, I would also like to see a bracket system on who would win in a fight between all the horror movie monsters. I'm talking monsters from 70s and up. No bullshit Universal monsters.
Well, it's a weird thing. Normally we don't do kind of non-video game stuff.
And
maybe
to
we
be
can
honest-
start... Ask the Apes is. Maybe we can start doing just one thing that's like an interesting...
to.
No, you don't want to?
Because eventually, and you're hearing it here first, people, eventually, if we ever get the opportunity to go full-time with Chainsaw Ape, we're going to do a horror podcast.
We could try to do that, period.
No, I don't have the time.
Maybe
for it right
monthly.
now. Maybe. But yeah, I want to do a horror podcast. I want to do like horror-related stuff.
Well, I
Because we're
mean,
both
in
big fans
general,
of
like
horror.
even the Marvel MCU wouldn't fit into any
For sure.
categories.
For
you know?
sure.
So,
Eddie Murphy has a question.
I bet I know what it is, baby. And you better believe I do want a part of Eddie Murphy. But all right, let's continue.
I-Defy7 asks, because of the late start on Wednesday night, can JD and CC be a subdivision of Chainsaw Ape called Laggers Incorporated?
Yes, they can. It's up to you to make that stick, though, and you know that you have the power to do that.
Who
More
wants
so
to
than
party
us.
with Eddie Murphy?
I already answered that.
I do. Johnny Papp says, could Major Tom play a redneck fishing game with another guest drunk as hell and talking redneck stuff?
Next time Festus is up here, yes.
Or get drunk in solo Duck Dynasty. And if not, which is better, Euro fishing or Cabela's Big Game Hunter? Cabela's Big Game Hunter is definitely better. But yeah, we can do that. There's a hunting game that's on sale on Black Friday that's exclusive to Walmart that I really pick up.
I sat outside for 7 hours in front of a Kohl's to get this hunting game so we can stream it.
like,
I played
you know
Duck
what?
Dynasty, so
Specifically, I will go. There's a Black Friday hunting game that I'm gonna go get.
We should do a Monday night Duck Dynasty stream one day, and we'll wear like camouflage hats. And stuff
God,
like that.
we can.
We'll use our redneck accents. No, all right.
No, I'm sure like you're from Louisiana.
I'm from Louisiana.
So, yeah, yours just.
I grew up around accents of all
don't-
types of Southern.
You mean Forrest Gump accents? I'm sorry, or young Jenny from Forrest Gump accents.
It's going well, Eddie Murphy. How are you?
Quite well.
Ida57 asks, do you think a Halloween versus Hellraiser film would have worked?
No.
Yeah, no.
Okay, there's something about. All right, look. Here's why Freddy versus Jason. You have one character who doesn't
Because Freddy's
speak.
in it.
Yeah, and then Freddy, his own character, his bombastic attitude carries the rest of it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You could put him in any of them. You could put him versus Michael Myers.
Sure.
You could put him versus...
But when you have
Pinhead.
Michael Myers, who plays the Jason archetype character of like,
Yeah.
I walk slowly and I kill people,
Yeah.
but there's not a lot to me as a character.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, what about the whole Hellraiser one? Well, the backstory is interesting. The actual character itself of like, oh, I like to fucking get hurt at the same time, but I don't talk that much. There's not a whole lot going there that you could like make an interesting movie out of. So my answer would be no. I don't think it could.
Next question comes from Texville Davis. He says, y'all play any Heroes of the Storm? The new Battleground maps are pretty cool, and they have a promo play 30 matches with a friend before the end of the year and get 5 free heroes, a mount, and some Overwatch stuff. No, number one, I don't really get into MOBAs.
Same.
And number two, I'm not a huge Blizzard fan. Not same for you, no.
I like some Blizzard. Diablo and WoW, but not a MOBA guy.
Page by Pixel says, I think we need a new show for all these. It's going to be called Listen, Man.
Welcome to the Listen Man segment. Yeah, I'm with that.
I'm going to refresh real quick.
Out of 5
just to make
presents the Listen Man segment. Can one of you guys hit us with a out of 5 command there in chat? That'd be great. I'd appreciate it.
2 more questions. First one's from Texville Davis. He says, y'all seen how short the damn controller cables for the NES Mini are? Yes, one of the reasons I'm not excited about it. I mean, I'm excited about it. I still want one. But, honestly, if I get one, I'm going to keep it on my desk at work. Get me an extra monitor, hook it up on my desk at work, and it's like, hey,
We'll
look
do
at
that.
my toy.
Before we go to the last question, let's hit the rest of the comments here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Watching a lot of Dave Chappelle SNL stuff. It's good. The titty
Some of it's
drinking,
good.
the titty milk skit, I thought was pretty weak, but the rest of it was great. Jonathan says, and Halloween is about killing stupid kids that make bad decisions, and Hellraiser is about torturing and killing evil people that deserve it. Yeah.
Dimension
but-
Films is actually going to make the Hellraiser versus Halloween.
Until they realize there'd be no fucking dialogue in the whole film. Which, that specifically is why I don't think the movie would work. Not because they're not great villains or slasher
Yeah.
on their own, just there's a reason why 90% of the movie is not about them hanging out. You don't see Michael Myers in the movie. You see everyone else that can talk and can create suspense or, yeah, you get it. All right,
Final
last
question comes from Idify7. He asks, for the 4th month in a row, Xbox has been beating PlayStation in console sales. Why would Sony not incorporate a 4K Ultra HD player in the PS4K Pro or Go Pro? Do you think this decision will hurt them in the long run with the upcoming release of the Scorpio? I don't think that I think if they included a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray player in the PS4 Pro, it wouldn't matter a fucking lick. I don't think that it would sell. Maybe we're talking like 1,000 units, like with or without. Like, I think that it's a very small amount. I think that, like, me, for example, if I had one, I wouldn't be like, oh, man, now I got to go buy all these Ultra 4K Blu-rays.
God damn it, Bobby. Now I gotta buy televisions.
Yeah, it's not...
Power them with propane.
Ultra 4K Blu-ray is not... We're not to the point to where it's like a DVD
what the
player.
fuck is Ultra 4K?
It's the new Blu-ray format. It's like the next... you had your VHSs and then your DVDs and then your Blu-ray. Ultra 4K Blu-rays.
Okay, I said there was 4K. And I thought, like, the new thing was called Ultra 4K.
No,
That's
that's the
like,
types
what the
of
fuck,
Blu-rays.
man? You know, I might as well just give up. Just go back to watching VHS tapes. I'm never gonna be current.
And do you think the decision will hurt them in the long run with the upcoming release of the Scorpio? I think Scorpio is going to do incredibly well. I think to answer this as quickly as possible, I think PlayStation has been making or Sony's been making a bunch of foolish decisions over the last 6 to 8 months regarding their hardware, their messaging, their advertising. They've just gotten cocky like they did with the PS2 and just, they've fallen a little bit. And I think that Microsoft has been doing the complete opposite.
Like they did with
that.
the PS2?
Yeah, they got super cocky with the PS2 and then they're like, hey guys, here's the PlayStation 3. It's $599 US.
Oh.
If you really want one, get a second job.
Okay.
That kind of thing. Where they're just like a little too cocky with themselves. It's performing, it's the best selling console right now. So they're just kind of like riding the wave as opposed to making sure that they're keeping that wave. And I think that Microsoft is going in the opposite direction of like, no, we got some adjustments to make. And they've been making those adjustments and they're doing a great job. Adify says, I don't know, Clive Barker and John Carpenter was supposedly going to be attached to it. That's cool. Anyway,
I mean, dude, I'd like to see what they had, but
yeah,
who knows? Don't read Edinburgh's comment. There's no apologizing on Chain Sight. We've been over this 100 times. No apologizing ever.
Jonathan says Xbox crushes PS4 because Xbox Gold Network has superior to PlayStation Network since inception. As a result, people split in the PlayStation Xbox camp ages ago. Once you were in with your friends, you stay with that brand. I think that's a big part of it. I mean, 360 was my primary console, and now PS4 is, so it wasn't that way for me. But I do agree that a lot of people were that way.
What's the Bad Boys thing? We ride together, we die together. Xbox Bros for life. Anyways,
he goes, "Oh, I'm not sorry, Ken."
Well, good. I'm glad to hear it. But
all
no,
right,
Jonathan, I think is kind of correct. But moving market, man. What are you gonna do? So, gentlemen, we are at 2.5 hours. This might be the longest prep ape.
I don't think it is. I think we hit a 240 one time.
You know what I think? That's what I think.
How are we ever going to go full time with you doing shit like that? We're going to call... Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining. I'm
you're
DKP.
Killing me, bro. I'm Major Tom.
And it's been a great time. I'll be back
What the
on with
fuck
Major
did you
Tom
eat?
tomorrow.
Not with me.
I'm sorry, Angry Tomato tomorrow.
There's an angry tomato coming out of your ass. Bro, how are we going to get like... It's like, hey, Capcom, can you send us some review copies of this game? And they're like, sorry, we heard you shit yourself on screen on Twitch. So we've lost all respect for you, as you clearly have no respect for yourself.
Right. And they'll be like, but for some reason people do watch. So we will send you
Not
copies.
anymore. We're down to 8 viewers. Thank you guys for hanging out. DKP is disabilities.
Do you want me to fucking apologize? Because it ain't gonna happen. Not here.
No, I don't want you
Not
to
here.
apologize. Just want you to
we can walk
next time.
legitimately off the property across the street and I'll apologize. But it ain't happening here, not on
That's
Chain
fine.
Sight.
I don't want you to apologize for it. I just want you to do better next time. You disappointed.
Okay, if I get 2 people that say they enjoyed it, then fuck you. Come on, 2 people. Anybody.
Yeah, just go ahead and say that you enjoyed him shitting himself on screen.
Right. Check the arse.
Just look at the laughs. Ha ha, LOL, what
whistle.
the fuck? People enjoyed it. You don't need the internet to validate you.
All right.
No gas in California.
I make no promises. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm DKP.
I'm Major Tom.
And we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a good
Goodbye.
night.